there is some kind of gardening equipment making noises outside, and I don't know why. And also, since the stream started off with dropped frames, or even got started, I don't think I want to shut that door. Because it doesn't seem good for my chances, you see. But anyways, hello everybody! It's a lovely Friday morning, for me at least. Maybe it's the evening for you, who knows? And welcome back, I tell you all, to something that they call, in the business, a song. No, they call it Investigations Collection. Playing Prosecutor's Gambit, we're going to continue with Turnabout Legacy. It's going to be a fun time. Hopefully we'll continue forward with the same amount of gameplay time as we usually do for these streams, I guess now. So we do have our 3 points to mention before we get started, as always. The first one is that you can feel free to ask me any questions you may want during the chat, anytime at all. It's not like there's much to maintain there. Every now and then, you know. You get some people cropping in, and also, you know, thanks to all those people who are subbing currently because of all these. It's very nice to see the number go up, even if very slightly. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. You can ask me questions anytime, and I'll pay attention and listen to them and all that shit. Just keep it nice and civil, and we'll be just fine. You'll be able to enjoy ourselves entirely. Second thing, of course, is that I post the streams going live over on Twitter as well as over on Discord. You can find both of those in the channel's About section. You can even find it there at the bottom, or you can find it on the banner at the top of the screen if you're on desktop or anything like that. And if you're looking on mobile, you might have to go to some extra little menus. It doesn't matter. It's all goofy and such. Yeah, you can find them there. The Discord server is very small. Not very many people in there, but you know, it's a small channel, so that's to be expected. Maybe someday it'll be a flourishing community. And maybe someday. Because it definitely would be nice to just do some community night shit. Play games with people, all that shit. But, you know, it's not to be expected. It doesn't matter. And as well, you know what Twitter's all about by now. And as for the last thing, is recommending a YouTube channel. But when I was thinking about which channel I could recommend, I couldn't think of anything specific. So I decided, why do we have to do a channel specifically? So for this stream, across the banner on the screen, it's always been there, I'm going to be recommending the Disc-Only podcast, because I've already recommended the Law Hero podcast, might as well recommend another one that I listen to frequently. It is a collaboration between four fellas over in the Throne Controller sphere. We've got Proton John, Tom Fawkes, Stephen George, and the 8-Bit Drummer / Jared. And they get together once every month for the beginning of it, usually the first Tuesday of the month, or next Tuesday, scheduling willing. And they just get together and chat shit with each other. There have been 40 episodes, along with a couple bonus episodes scattered out here and there. But you can find most of them over on the Proton John pod channel, as well as over on the Spotify and other podcasting services. They are a good listen, and they often, sometimes, have special guests join them, like Super MC Gamer and Sam Irene, Insane in the Rain, Music. People like that. They join in, and they have a nice conversation. Usually things get pretty wild, but you know, most recent episode had gone up by this stream at least. It was like a couple days ago that they did the stream itself. And so, you can watch that now, catch up on all 46 episodes or so. It's not gonna take a long time, I swear it. Okay. And so now it's time for us to head over to the game itself. I've chatted long enough about silly podcasts and all that. So, over here, you might notice that it's, you know, there's no music, and also we're on the main screen. That's because of something I saw after I went and did the third case of the first game in my own time. I just wanted to show it off, briefly, Oh, I'm listening to this music. You have in the background there this shot of Edgeworth, and it's all fine and dandy. He's just standing there in the haunted house. He's enjoying his time, but then you press any key and suddenly, jump scare. It's very silly, but I find it funny. And so, yes, without further ado, we go to... Yeah, be number 10. The events of 18 years past, the middle. Yeah, because that's further, that's how time works. We got it now. I recognize which file we're supposed to be doing. I still can't believe the IS-7 incident was Gregory's last case, or that it's been 18 long years since. Oh yeah, I have to press buttons for this. A murder at a confectionery contest, and one of the participants, no less, already froze. They pulled his body out of a treasure chest as part of the Samson Tangaroa's chocolate tableau. He'd been hit in the head with a large rock salt lamp, and subsequently bled to death. We found the lamp hidden inside the candy castle Felicia Scone and named the contest. But then, before anyone had the chance to investigate Mr. Frost's own room, all of his icy creations had melted clean away. 18 years ago. It's December 24th still, 9:05 p.m. Contest venue, fountain, room. Back with this music. All of Mr. Frost's work destroyed. Mr. Von Kammel was very happy. He told us to get out, and in no uncertain terms. So what do we do now, Mr. E? I can't believe he just stopped and kicked us out. Von Kammel's a total jerk. Now, Eddie. It was always the job of the police and the prosecutor to investigate the scene. Yeah, but he didn't have to talk to us like that. Who cares if our cops were attorneys? We should be working together to find the truth. You can't assume that everyone is the same as your own. You may wish to expose the truth, but others might prefer to accept things at face value. Which ways of thinking is right will depend on the person. But what if somebody's innocent and is behind bars because no one managed to uncover the truth? It can happen. We're all human, police and prosecutors included. Which is why defense attorneys exist. Our job is to help people in just such situations. Be friends of the friendless. Friends of the friendless? Now, we may not be able to investigate the widow ways and hope, but it doesn't mean we give up. You're right, Mr. E. I'm sorry. I should have thought more if I opened my big mouth. Big mouth? You're young, Eddie. You'll learn soon. I will, I promise! And here comes Kate. Judy Bound, sorry. Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Fender, you look like you could use a little pick-me-up. I'm afraid this is all I have, but please, by all means. Whoa, you're the best, Miss Brown. Chocolates added to the court record. Tangaroa's favorite, handmade by Bound. Rather misshapen, crept this morning. Thank you. A little sugar boost might actually help, although these are a little too sweet for my liking. And a little uniquely shaped. I'm sorry if they're not to your taste. No, right, they're so sweet. You're very kind. Imagine, meaningful people, mediocre confectionery. What? You mean you made these yourself? Yes, Samson loves chocolate, so I had to learn. Keeping a supply of his favorite treat is just one of my favorite duties. Or one of my many duties. Although he does tend to spend most of the time coaching me on how to improve particularly. Mr. Tangaroa sure is a lucky guy. Very sweet homemade sweets made by the one and only Judy Bell whenever he wants sounds amazing. I'm sorry, did you say something? Nope, nothing at all. Dear sweet Eddie, you really still do have a lot to learn. You still do have a ways to go. It seems you're quite committed to the work you do, Mr. Tangaroa has found. Of course, what would I have to say here otherwise? What do you mean by that? I was abandoned as a baby. Mr. Tangaroa took me in. That's right. When I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building on snowy Christmas Eve many years ago, he found me on the steps of his very mansion. He saved my life and became the father I never had. I can never repay him, so my work for him is the least I can do, and I'll be here for him as long as he needs me. That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. I must be getting old. I'm welling up a little myself. And think today is Christmas Eve, and I can't even give him his present in person. I'd do anything to save him. Anything! Please, if there's something I can do to help, just say it. We're very grateful, Miss Bound. Perhaps you could help us by answering the question. Did you know the victim? Not very well, I'm afraid. No, but if you wanted to see something of some of his work, I have a picture of the sculptures made for the vinyl. How convenient. My. Oh, they're stunning. Aren't they? I think they're masterpieces. Who would have thought you could make such intricate statues out of flavored ice? Samson adored them too. Oh hey, that's Taurus and Gemini, right? I didn't know you were keen on constellations and the zodiac. Oh, I love it. The stories of the stars, those stars can tell. Take Gemini, for example. See the lyre? That's what the harp's called. And the arrow and the... Hold on. The lyre doesn't have any strings. Huh. Did Mr. Frost forget to add them, maybe? That doesn't sound like something he'd forget to do. Wait, really? I thought you just said you didn't know him very well. Oh, well, he didn't seem like the type. It seems she's got something to hide, too. May we have this? You took this photograph yourself as well. Yes, I used this instant camera here. It develops the pictures as soon as you take them. It's so useful. And nostalgic. What do you mean nostalgic? It's present day. Ooh, I'd love to see it in action. Why don't we take your picture? Oh yes, come on, Mr. Reed, let's get a shot of us both. Well, alright then. Be ashamed to waste a good hair day. Ready? Say cheese! Snap. There, all done. And the picture's yours to keep, Mr. Defender. Oh my gosh, thank you so much! It's such a cool camera. I don't see anything we got, so you gotta use it for all the picture taking needs. It's very convenient, but the lack of negatives is something with a shame. So there aren't any negatives for us to reference. I assume Mr. Tangaroo used the same camera during the contest? Yes, you assume correctly. He used it for some work in progress pictures of the sea tank. And later, to take some photos of the other contestants' work. Later! Didn't you take a picture of the body when you discovered it? Didn't you discover the body while the judging was still on the way? Oh, yes, Samson wanted pictures of all the entrance completed rooms. The film right now just to see finished photographing Mr. Gusto's work. So he asked me to go and put in a new cartridge. He seemed to think that there should have been more shots than there were. In other words, the film ran out sooner than expected. Yes, the number of shots he took didn't line up with the number of shots remaining. But he thought maybe he just lost track of something along the way. But did he really though? Is that really the case? I went to our living area to change the film and I was passing through the town on my way back. When I heard the sound of something break and collapse. Cracking Blake in Samson's room. It sounded like that. Samson, are you in here? Aye! Mr. Frost's body was just lying there. I was in total shock. It was all too much. But I remember, I called the police, and then I went to tell everybody else. And the camera, it's with me ever since. I see. I'd be grateful if you could let us the camera and the pictures, Val. Of course, here you go. Well, thank you. I remember I made the fucking edit for this, where I added in an extra bit of evidence. It sure did take a bit. And I hope it even landed. I doubt it though. I gotta drink. Oh, here they are. Detective Bad, Mr. Skull. You done investigating? They're done with me, that's for certain. That big meanie told me to clear all. Honestly, that Mannykins will be the end of me. The cheek of him. Because he got tired of people cluttering up his crimes? Did he run you off too, Detective Bad? Yeah. Well, obviously, we got a nuisance. Can't do things his way with me around. Why would Mr. Funkama go so far as to exclude his own lead detective? Still, got a pretty good look at the scene. As for Gusto, he was enjoying a nice little chat right now in Frost's room. What about? Well, the fact that Mr. Bound said she saw him going there during the contest. Mr. Gusto went to Mr. Frost's room. Well, that's right, and I have to say he looked very much like he didn't want to be seen. I didn't know what he could have been up to. Well, he's candidate number one at the moment. He's the guy who's melted Frost's for. Or is that really not Mr. Gusto went to Mr. Frost's room? Got a photo right here. It's all yours. Wait, what? Why would you just give it to us? Well, I gotta spell it out for you, kid. Do I gotta show you this motherfucker? I'm offering to help you guys. I want the truth about this case to come out. Detective. Really, Detective Fred? Mr. Von Karma will be happy about this. Yeah, well, I'm not Von Karma's thoughts. I'm not Von Karma's stupid. I just remember the bit in the NTS playthrough that I edited where Tim correctly guessed it was going to be Von Karma's lapdog in the fan translation. It sure was. It's not Von Karma's stooge. He's going to stonewall my investigation. And I'm not going to play by the book either. God, that's some pesky rules keep me from finding the truth. Now, can I, Mr. Writer? Indeed. Thank you, Detective Bad. Wow, I can't believe you won him over, Mr. E. Well, I haven't the foggiest what you're all going on about. Here's the new friends, eh? It's definitely nice to have the good detective on our side, that's for sure. Alright, let's take a look at that photograph. Here. Get your eyeballs in on here. This is what Frost's room looks like right now. Yikes, there's nothing left here but his favorite ice sculpture, but puddles. The floor appears to be completely covered in a pale blue liquid. It's piss. I should compare this photo with the one I borrowed from Miss Band. I assume that a unplugged power cord has something to do with all this? Yeah, once that was out of the socket, the display gauges lost power, and up the temperature went. Because they were all connected to the same power strip. Do you have any idea why it was unplugged, or when? Nope, still working on that. Those sculptures were beautiful. What a waste. You could say that again. I should have taken a few more bites of them when I had the chance. So they tasted good? Did they ever? I never tried ice so scrumptious. Ice is so scrumptious in all my life. Really? Man, I wish I could have had a bite. It wasn't scrumptious except for the salty bit, of course. That was unbearable. The salty bit. It's in the other photo you got there. This bit, the harpy thing. Gemini's lion. Wait, that's why I had no strings? To hold me down? Because you ate them? I didn't eat that much, you cheeky devil, you. I told you, it was all horrible and salty. They went out of testimony. It's interesting that only one particular part of this one particular sculpture is different from the rest. And could somebody other than Miss Scone really be responsible for reading the rest of the strings? Did you notice anything else, Miss Scone? Come to think of it, I did. There was a funny little mark on Chittywink's room work. It was 2 little letters. Let me see if I can draw it for you. There we go. Yes, it looks just like that. It's like a signature or something. Wait a minute. Wait the freak up. I just knew Miss Frost wouldn't have made it that hard without a strings. Some type to skip an important detail like that. I hope you don't mind me asking, Miss Bow. Are you certain you didn't know Mr. Frost particularly well? What? No, I barely knew him, I swear. Is that so? You certainly seem to have some strong opinion about his attitude towards me. No, I just... The sculpture was so carefully made, I didn't think we missed it so important. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. You have a more personal connection to his work than that. Well, what makes you say that? I have an item of evidence that appears to have been one of Mr. Frost's possessions, and it shares a key feature of another piece of evidence. Well, I wouldn't know what you're talking about if you don't share. So are these 2 pieces of evidence of yours? There's 2 items point to Miss Frost. This is the first. This is the steeple. Take that. And now the second. Open the doors, and there's It's a lot of pieces. Miss Stone found 2 letters carved into Mr. Frost's ice sculptures. I think they were a signature of sorts. After all, it's not unusual for an artist to initial them. I guess not. That's right, dear. It's just like you said. Chitywink statues have the letter PH carved into them, plain as day. PH? Shouldn't it be AF? Me AF? I think so, but take a look at this. It's the seal we found on the crime scene. It seems reasonable to assume that it fell from Mr. Frost's pocket. And what press the surface of an item would leave behind the letters PH. The same pottery mark we see imprinted on the bottom of the items in the 2 same pottery mark? We've already established that the T set is the work of the sculptor Paul Hallie. From that, we can assume that these same letters would mark any item on the pieces of his work. A fact of which you are well aware, correct, Miss Bound? Well, yes, I know that he always marks his work with initials like that. He's never revealed his true identity in public, though, so it's the only way to know his works is truly his. I mean, Paul Hallie was. That's right, Detective. Artie Frost had never identity. He was no ordinary confectioner, at least, as far as Mrs. Bound was concerned. Well, you see, Mr. Frost was, in fact, an extraordinary confectioner. A fan of sculpture. Mr. Frost was, in fact, none other than the famed sculptor Paul Halik. What? Mr. Frost and Paul Halik were the same person? It's not like the mark's hard to copy, though. Anyone who's seen it could fake it being him with it. Not exactly conclusive proof that Frost was who say he was. It was proof enough for Miss Brown. What matters is that she believed it. It's true that he would have to be investigated by the good people of the precinct. Alright. What are the boys to do? I should have known I couldn't hide it from you, Mr. Redwood. So you knew it. You're aware of who Mr. Frost really was. I was. When I discovered his body, I saw the seal you found. Don't ask me how. But I just knew straight away that he was my dear Paul Halik. Imagine, his entry to the confectionery contest for his final legacy. A great man like that. And be honest, did you enter Mr. Frost's room at any point? What? Why are you asking me that? The photograph of Miss Frost's room. I'd like to know when it was taken. Oh, it's... I must have got it mixed up with the one Samson took during the judging. Objection! I'm afraid I find that rather hard to believe. You said yourself that the camera ran out of film during the judging, and that you've had charge of the camera since before Mr. Tangaroa had the chance to visit Miss Frost's room. That's how you were able to take that picture when you discovered Mr. Frost's body. I suppose. This suggests that you only took 2 pictures of the film, one of Frost's body and one of his room. But I have a piece of evidence that says otherwise. You do? The piece of evidence contradicts the assumption that Miss Bound only took 2 pictures. The photograph itself. Take that! The camera? You gave the picture of the body to the police, and the collector of Mr. Frost's room to me. Oh, and you gave us that picture you took of me and Mr. Edward, too. 3 photographs in total, and yet the film card showed this camera only has 3 exposures from it. Out of a total of 20. You took more pictures, and I want to know what else. I need to see all the photos you took. Perhaps then we'll finally learn what you were really up to. I'm so sorry. I confess, I've been lying to you. These were all shots of Frost's room. I'm so sorry. Looks like she took pictures of his work from every possible angle. And when they were taken, the ice still hadn't melted yet. Wait, don't tell me. It was you. It was. At least, I'm pretty sure it was. You are? Why? Well, you see, I'm a huge fan of Mr. Halik's work, as you know. I was petrified that he might be ruined over the investigation that was going on and everything. So I thought I should at least capture the sculptures on film for posterity. And how do that make them melt? I think perhaps I can't help it. I was so intent on getting better photographs, and I might have tripped up the powder cord without noticing. My mistake? Are you sure? I didn't notice at the time, but, well... How could I have been so careless as to cause the loss of his final masterpieces? It seems a little convenient to me. I'm not sure I believe it. But I'm not in a position to refute it either. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. Please, don't worry about it. The important thing is that you told us the truth. What he said. No hard feelings, Miss Bale. Thank you. Mr. Red, picture's yours. Hope it helps. Oh, here he is. And here they is. Are you infernal nuisances still here? You don't know when to give up. Linger for as long as you like. The answer is still the same. You are not part of this investigation. Whether we're part of it or not, we'll uncover the truth nonetheless. It seems you don't know when to shut up either, but I commend you on your stubbornness. Mr. Von Karma, I'm afraid I'm the one responsible for Mr. Frost's work, Melton. What? What is the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. And to you, Mr. Gusto. No concern of mine. I didn't do anything, and Mr. Von Karma agrees. Nothing at all, Mr. Gusto. You went into Mr. Frost's room, didn't you? Perhaps you could tell us why. Sure, I was... Objection! Silence, fool! You're not to give the attorney even this tiniest shred of information. Judy Bound, you're coming with me. I have reason to believe that you are an accomplice of the accused, Samson Dangaroa. No, I will be interrogating you personally, so you had better get your story in order. I understand. Wait, please. I'm not done questioning her myself. And you think I care because... Bad, Gusto, and you, Sko. I have questions for you, and I expect answers. Fine by me. Oh, and you could at least ask nicely, mannequin. He took literally everyone with him. Indeed. Well, I suppose that means there's no point in us hanging around either. Perhaps it's time we get going anyway. It is rather late. I hope the snow is let up. You're right. Oh, home time! Well, I guess my stomach's in agreement too. Alright, let's go grab a bug. Before my own stomach starts grumbling too. Sounds good to me. Let's eat up and rest up. We need to be fighting fit for tomorrow. We will indeed. And our first port of call will be the Mr. Tangaroa. 20 minutes! 20-minute segment. Not even that. Leap over. We do a leapfrog down to 13. Though chances are we might run out of spaces. Who knows? Ugh. December 25th, 10 a.m. Merry Christmas. Drink that mango drink. Hey, it's Miss Bam. Oh, Mr. Fender. And Mr. Edgeworth. I'm so sorry about what happened yesterday. She looks rather tired. Mr. Von Karma finished interrogating you. Yes, though he really only seen interested in how I made melted those sculptures. Nothing else really. Are you here to see Mr. Tangaroa too? Yes, I'm terribly worried about him. There he is. Detective Bad. What are you doing back there? No, just happen to be here, I guess. I'll be heading back to the scene soon. Not sure how anyone just happens to be at the detention center, but okay. Good morning. I don't even remember Samson's voice. I forgot it already. Mr. Tangaroa, what happened to you? Oh no! Samson, what did he do to you? Well, he didn't seem to want to let me sleep. I had no idea interrogations could be so involved. Sorry if I seem distracted. I think I'm a little... tired. Not letting you sleep. That's not police work, that's torture. What's going on here, Detective Bad? I'm not the one doing the interview. It's the guy they put on the case before me. I like Von Karma's method about as much as you do, which is why I'm doing what I can to help. It was Detective Bad who got me out of the hair. I'd still be in that interrogation room right now, if it weren't for him. Detective Bad really is trying to look after Mr. Tangaroa in his own way, it seems. Alright, Eddie. Let's share yesterday's finding of Mr. Tangaroa. You got it, Mystery. My notepad's at the ready. I did hear that, if it even did come through on the stream. Mr. Tangaroa, we found out quite a bit, if you'd like to hear it. Of course, Thank you. Are you alright, Mr. Tangaroa? You seem kinda spaced out. I'm fine, I think my blood sugar might be running a little low. Samson. Do you have anything that might give him a little energy boost? Perhaps. We'll give it to him now. Huh? Is that chocolate for me? Oh, those are the chocolates I wish I could give them to you, Mr. Tangaroa. But the rules here don't exactly allow me to do so. Oh, that's a shame, but those are rules, I suppose. There must be some way we can hand them to him. I hope Detective Bad doesn't know anything to mean if we look in this direction. Let me take a look at them. If they seem legit, I'm not consider passing them on to the suspect. Thank you, Detective Bad. My hero! I'm touched. Thank you, Detective. Yeah, whatever. Just sit tight. There. You don't know how much this means to me. Yeah. Keep it down, will you? For both our sakes. Of course, Detective. I wouldn't wish to put your livelihood at risk. Now to sample these treats. Detective, I apologize for putting you in a tight spot. I didn't do it for you. It was my call. Guess you're not such a bad guy after all.
Oh, the sweetness. I feel like a man reborn. Were they your handiwork, Judy?
Yes. How were they?
Feel them melt, soft and smooth, chocolate that'll comfort and soothe, ear to ear, heart to toe. God, smile and savor to the taste as it flows. Yo-yo melts in the mouth. Delicious. They're not exactly beautiful, but they're sweet and oh so flavorful. Thank you, Judy.
So glad you like them. I'm glad you're back to your old self.
My apologies, friends. The food they serve here is just so flavorless.
Between that and the lack of sleep, I was about ready to collapse from sheer despair. Wow, is the food here really all that bad?
Just the usual. French fries, ham sandwich, stuff like that. Not even salt beef and stew.
It's in the fat section.
Yes, and yet I can't taste a thing. Anyway, I'm heading back to the sea. Before you go, Detective, do you have any new information to share? Oh yeah. You were right about the victim's identity. Frost worked as a sculptor in France, where he was known as Paul Halik. Buddy Frost was Paul Halik? I never would have imagined.
Poor Mr. Halik. So the famous French sculptor wasn't a Frenchman after all, huh? I'll swaddle that down.
This all would certainly explain why Mr. Halik was such a recluse and refused to show his face in public. He was busy working on his greatest masterpiece, apparently, which is Zodiac statues. Guess he'll never finish them now.
He never finished his greatest masterpiece?
Nah. Seems he was making the statues for each season. But he never got around to the winter constellation.
The winter constellations?
You mean Taurus and Gemini? So the two he made of ice sculptures were out of ice, completely set.
Yeah, now they're nothing but puddles. What a bummer. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, Miss Bound, I wasn't blaming you. One last thing. Seems he had himself a bit of a spitting at when it came to his work. Every statue cost him millions to make. Which means he was always strapped for cash.
We're checking to see if there's any chance someone
Called it a death.
I guess not even famous artists are safe from money problems.
Do you have any idea why he entered the confectionery contest?
None. Guy didn't even tell his family.
I see. Well, I must be getting off on that old dusty trade. I'll go fetch another guy, but I can't be hanging around here any longer. Understood, Detective. We'll see you again shortly. He's a good man.
He certainly is. An uncompromising one. Somebody who could be trusted to stand up for what he believes in. And to scare the pants of anybody new he meets.
Now, you were going to tell me what you learned yesterday?
Of course. Allow me to give you a full report.
Thank you for that. And allow me to apologize on Judy's behalf.
I'm so sorry.
You've been saying that this whole damn time.
It's fine, it's a road.
As I told her yesterday, the important thing is that we learn the truth in the end. Now, would you mind if I asked you a question or two? By all means. I'll gladly share all that I can. What can you tell me about the contestants who took part in the final round of the contest? Let's see. There was Miss Scone. I loved her design concept. Unfortunately, her entry was in violation of rules, and so I had to disqualify her. Mr. Gusto's creations were a perfect balance of flavor and design. At least, up through the semi-final. But disappointingly, his entry for the final was subpar on both counts. And there was actually something a little unusual in the semi-final as well. Which was? It tasted identical to Mr. Frost's. They may have looked different, but I could have sworn I was using the same flavor.
Huh? What exactly did his work look like?
Oh, there should be a photograph back in my mansion.
Show it to you later, Miss Redwood. Much appreciated, Miss Brown.
When Mr. Frost entered the finals, oh, that was truly sublime.
So you were able to finish judging it? Even though his body had been discovered in the meantime?
Yes, I wasn't aware of what happened until after I completed my assessment. Mr. Frost was in his room when I visited, so I took the liberty of sampling a bit. Part of the lyre, I believe. I never tasted anything like it. It was a dream. I was so moved that I burst into song. I'm sorry, what are you saying? The lyre tasted good. I'd like to hear more about that if you don't mind. Lyre, lyre, pants for hire. Your wife but couldn't deny. You're sure, quite sure it wasn't the lyre when you challenged the Prosecutor? I'm certain of it. It was part of the Gemini sculpture, which was the only sculpture in the display case. Mr. Tangaroa, would you mind taking a look at this photograph for me? So the part you tried was the lyre, the one shown here without any strings? No, there were strings originally. That was the part I ate. So the strings are missing because Mr. Tangaroa ate them all, and he enjoyed them? The scone told her she ate a part of the lyre as well, but she said it was far too salty for her to fit. That is true. The truth is, I've suspected for a while that there might be something wrong with my sense of taste. Something wrong? How so exactly? There's the taste disorder is characterized by an inability to detect salty flavors. They went for hypogeusia in the fan patch. I gotta continue using it. No. And I suspect I've been suffering from it. I eat so many sweet foods on a daily basis that it took a while for me to even notice. And so did I get now. That looks me my food here seems so bland. What? What your taste buds are your livelihood? Even if there was some long-term treatment, I am highly down to a cure for fish diseases. Nevertheless, you should put in a request to place for proper evaluation. No, that wouldn't be necessary. I have a recipe for a cure back at my mansion. You do? I do! You can take a look at it for yourself if you like. Samson! You can't show that recipe to just anybody. Judy! Mr. Edgar is hardly just anybody. He's my attorney, and I have no secrets from him. Yes, you're right, of course. That's what you wish. What on earth is a secret recipe for a miracle cure they've been hiding? So yeah, I guess they don't use hypogeusia specifically. Just taste disorder. Well, I suppose you'll be getting back. Alright, we'll be right behind you. Judy! Yes, Samson? There's more to life than just me. Please, Judy, think about the life you want to live. Because I won't always be around. Don't say that! Without you, I don't have a life to save, or even live. So I'll be waiting, right there at the mansion, until you come home. Now, if you'll excuse me. Wait, Miss Bound! Judy! Whoa, she seemed really upset. I thought I saw tears in her eyes. Why'd you even say all that to her? Because I worry about her. She can't keep putting my needs ahead of her own. What do you mean? The Elite Collection, the candy making, it's all because she thinks these things will make me happy. She never thinks about what she wants, what she likes. I just want her to be her own person and choose her own destiny. The last thing I want is for her to miss out on all the life has to offer because of me. I guess that makes sense. It really does seem as though he sees her as his own child. What parent wouldn't want that child to walk their own path? And what parent wouldn't do everything they could to protect them? I know exactly how he feels in this moment. I think I've asked of you everything I can now, Tangaroa. We should be getting back to the scene of the crime. Oh, you're leaving? I see. I suppose I'll be going back to the interrogation room now, for another session. Oh yes, well, we have to do something with that. You'll speak to the police for me? Not too, but I'll be putting something else in place as well. My name's about to leave for when the time comes. I look forward to learning more. I'm counting on you, Mr. Edgar. We'll be back to brief you, Mr. Tangaroa, every day. And Judy too. Thank you, Eddie. I'll look forward to it. Mr. Tangaroa, your interrogator will do everything in his power to extract a confession. I hate to see an innocent man suffer like this. You have my deepest sympathies. But please, you have to do everything you can to hold out. If you can't, Mr. Von Combo will use that confession against you for as long as this case lasts. It will make it that much harder for me to save you. I understand, and I'll try. I won't give up until you're out of there, Mr. Tangaroa. You have my word on that. This is
I mean, I've been saying it for like 4 fucking hours, maybe 5.
The trick is bad. Thank you again for what you did earlier.
Yeah, thanks a ton. He even bowed too.
What are you talking about?
That's not to be shy about it.
Never mind that now. I'm guessing you two are back here, looking to investigate some more.
We are indeed.
We'll need something solid if we're going to save Mr. Tongaroo. Well, I hate to break it to you, but apart from this room, the whole place is on lockdown.
What? We need to see this other rooms.
This is Mr. Von Karma's doing, I presume. Who else? Haven't seen the awesome here for yet either. Yeah, has probably got a hand in that too. Don't expect to speak with anybody, except those cops in this band. Everybody else is gone. And I doubt Von Karma will be handing out the phone numbers.
Is this all just a game to him? Why does he have to go so far?
So what's your plan of action, Detective? Same as before. Safe as it ever was. Do what I can to help you uncover the truth. Like I promised.
You have my gratitude. As a man of culture. Just you wait, Mr. Von Karma. We're gonna beat you and your bag of dirty tricks. Was it something I said? Detective, may we conduct a brief investigation here?
Sure. Like I said, everything else is unfound. Probably won't be seeing those rooms again.
That's fine. As long as there isn't some way of continuing our investigation, we'll make do. Contest venue found a room. Ugh. Let's take a brief break, a reprieve. It is brief after all. You only need to take that little sip. Do the little spins on the control sticks just so I'm certain. I could have done it earlier. What about this plaque? This sign shows which artist works on display in which room. From left to right, Mr. Tangaroa, Mr. Gusto, Mrs. Scone, and Mr. Frost. Incidentally, the sign is also made from candy. What were they going to do with all this candy? Is somebody going to eat it when the contest was over? Look at all these things. These trophies all belong to Mr. Tangaroa, but not all for confectionery contests. Some appear to be for charity work. Testament to both his character and his professional achievements. What's this one here? In recognition of Bacon Bob's long-standing achievement in making children's dreams come true. That's so sweet. It's got me wanting to watch it. No. This is quite the trophy.
Awarded to Tangaroa. First place, International Protectors Association Annual Spectacular.
It's made of candy. Guess it wasn't meant to last forever.
Makes sense. Prizes, fame, none of it lasts forever.
I doubt it's anything quite that deep. There's that thing in. What about this reindeer?
That's the newest Gusto drew.
I guess the candy reindeer is meant to show that way.
Big antlers like that. Must be a bull.
I think not. Male reindeer shed their antlers in winter. Therefore, this must be a female.
Thanks, Mr. Trivia. That's right.
They don't teach you about reindeer in law school, do they? No, they do not. No, they don't. Santa Claus! I want to see Santa Claus. It's so close. Let me look at Santa. There we go. Santa Claus statue. It's made of candy too?
That door leads to Tangaroa's room. So yeah.
Could he made that thing too? Could be he made that thing too. Speaking of Santa, that reminds me. I still need to find a present of mine. He wanted an attorney's badge. I wonder if Mr. Tangaroa made one out of candy for me if I asked. Ah, piano. It seems interns are used in Mr. Tangaroa's bound TV show, Bacon Bob. There's some of the few things in there that made aren't there. Is it just me, or does the detective seem a little disappointed? I mean, look at this drum set. It says Samson on it. It's a drum set here, decorated like as if it were made out of cakes.
They must play it on Bacon Bob.
Detective, about these drums.
We already checked. Very nothing inside any of them. No sign of anything having been put inside or taken out. They're not relevant to the case.
You've already done your homework, I see.
I mean, like lollipops a little too much, but I'm no sucker.
Real. Others instances over here, same thing. Alright, miss.
Miss Bound.
We're here to continue our investigation. You didn't see my bowing, but you know. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm so sorry about earlier. You remain sorry, we'll hold it a sec. She's still looking kind of down in the dumps, Mr. A.
greatly taken back by what Mr. Tangaroo had to say. I found the photograph of the semi-final entries for you. Here, it's all yours. Frost, Scone, Gusto. Wow, the Scone sure knows how to make a cute cake. Yes, Samson loved her design for that one. And he loved the design's flavor Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost entries. The only problem was, as Samson mentioned earlier, he said exactly the same. However, their respective entries for the final tasted nothing alike, it seems. Was there anything else of note that changed between the semi-final and the final? Nothing major, but I guess there was one thing. Mr. Gusto's son was always here with him throughout the contest. But he was nowhere to be seen during the final. I remember some coming out of the contest, but then you won't play. I'm sure you're happy for us to keep hold of this. Of course! I hope it helps with your investigation. Semi-final entries added to the court record. Oh, and I also have the book containing the recipe for the cure Samson mentioned. We've seen this book before. It was in the jar of grain. Tangaroo. That's right. You put it on display there so everybody can see the grand prize. What? The cure is in the ultimate cookbook? So it's not a book of dessert recipes, I think. Oh no. We told the contestants, of course. But I guess nobody told you yet. So the contestants all knew what the ultimate cookbook was this whole time. Ultimate cookbook added to the court record. Chemical and pharmaceutical shit. I'd like to hear more about the cookbook if you don't mind, Miss Brown. So if I understand correctly, the ultimate cookbook is actually a collection of recipes for different medicines? Exactly. Or rather, totally new medications that haven't made it to market yet, to be precise. To the right buyer, a pharmaceutical company, for example, it would be worth a fortune. But why make that a grand prize at a confectionery contest? Mr. Tangaroo is the sole heir to the Tangaroo family fortune. Have you heard of the Tangaroo Group? Tangaroo Group? Yeah, I think I heard of them somewhere before. It's a major pharmaceutical corporation. Sells all kinds of pills for poison. Oh yeah, that new Cold Killer Pro has been making some real waves, as I was saying. I always reach for a cold killer when I'm feeling under the weather. Which is never as far as I've seen. I'd like to hear more about the Tangaroo Group, if you don't mind. Tell me more, please. So did Mr. Tangaroo not want to take over for his parents and go into the family business? No, he preferred the idea of making people's lives better for the power of factory. And his parents supported him in the quest to become the best in the world. Then, when they passed away, he inherited the cookbook. Why would he make such a viable heir of the contest? He's been hounded by so many people looking to make that book their own. He was tired of it. But it would have been an insult to his parents' memories simply giving it away. So he decided to find somebody he felt worthy of it. Now the board of directors love that. Handing over the fruits of all their expense and research to someone else. They hated the idea, of course, which is why Delisha entered the contest. The Tangaroo wanted her to win the book back for them. So you knew she was a pharmacist all along? Yes. And not only that, I told her how to appeal to Samson's tastes. I tried to help her win. But why? I wanted to protect Samson by protecting the Tangaroo Group. If that cookbook fell into another company's hands, the board would never forgive him. So I wanted to find a way to keep it with the company, but in a way that Samson couldn't object to. Oh, good lord, where did that come from? So that's how Miss Scone managed to make it so far in the contest she had no business taking part. But Miss Scone wasn't the only one pretending, was she? Mr. Frost really wasn't a confectioner either. He still made it all the way to the final, just like she did. Not bad. Yes, it's unbelievable, isn't it? A talented sculpture, and it gets a carrot dessert, crafted desserts too. A carrot desserts. Take care of the desserts for me. Needs to be babysat. Gifted indeed. Judging by the standard of work in the final. Well, how did one man produce pieces of the size and quality in such a short period of time? I'm not sure I have much more to tell you. But if there's anything else I can help you with, I'd be happy to help, of course. She's certainly very keen to ensure that she does all she can for the Tangaroo. I could certainly use a cup of tea you made us yesterday, if you wouldn't mind. I think that might help with moving the investigation along. Oh, well, that's some too. Your tea's diaper was bound. Well, how could I possibly refuse? I'll bring it right out. You know, I think that tear dropped a little. Dum dum dum. Now you can move around again. Dooku dooku. The fountain itself. Snatches of the fountain to big cherubs enjoying some chocolate fondue. All of its work, apparently. Gotta hand it to him. They look so real. Detective, are you saying you have personally seen Chad? Attorneys. Always poking holes in people's words. Oh, did I do something wrong? Excuse me, may I ask what you're investigating? Sir, I've analyzed the fountain water to see what might be in it, sir. Man, what did you find? Chocolate! And most like the kind of flavorings and colorings used in frozen desserts, sir. The composition of the chocolate seems to be the same as that of Mr. Tangaroa's work. And the flavoring and colorings match the profile of those used in Mr. Frost's high school. Go to the river's floor artist room, right here to this fountain. Guess that's how the stuff melts sculptures wound up in there. And that's not all, sir. We also found blood. What? Why is there blood in the water? Think back to our investigation of the murder scene, detective. Take another look at the scene in front of us, detective. The very conspicuous pool of blood that should be here is clearly missing. You're right. Don't remember anybody mentioning they removed the blood from the body. The victim's blood was mysteriously absent, as was the part of the chocolate chest that pulled on. I believe that the blood probably belongs to Paul Holly. Take that! Victim, huh? Well, that's the guy comparing the blood of the murder weapon. The sound effect! It's a match. The blood in the fountain is Frost's. Why would someone send the victim the blood downstream to the fountain like this? Why exactly? Was that done? Click, clock, clock. Didn't even get to speak to Eddie. Doesn't matter. We learned a little more about the contest and its contest participants. But there's still one question involving Mr. Gusto from which we never got an answer. Nothing at all, Mr. Gusto. You went into Mr. Frost's room, didn't you? Perhaps you could tell us why. Sure, I was... Silence! You were not to give the attorney even the tiny shred of information. What was he doing in Mr. Frost's room? And that's not all. I also have questions about the work he submitted for the semi-finals. The confectioner amidst the lacking design sense, and a sculptor with hidden space. Mr. Gusto could not have hoped to win such a high-level contest by himself. Which is why I'm beginning to wonder if there was some sort of connection between him and Mr. Frost. Detective, I need to ask Mr. Gusto a few more questions. His story still doesn't quite add up to me. Maybe. We need to figure out how to get in touch with him. Oh, do you now? And Nanny McFeedle in this bit. Good luck with that, as I have no intention of allowing it. Mr. Von Karma. I'm already in the midst of my own investigation too, Mr. Gusto. There is no need for the likes of you to pester him with the same questions again. I will, however, be happy to answer any questions you might have. He seems dead set on preventing me from talking to Mr. Gusto. In which case... Fine, then allow me to take you up on your offer. Very well. What is it? I'd like you to tell me about the connection between Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost. Gusto and Frost connection. A connection between Gusto and Frost. It was simply a matter of coincidence. They both happened to be taking part in the same contest. And that's it? That's all I have to say to you. What? That doesn't help us all. We'll have to confront him with the evidence if we want to draw the truth out of him. And it's imperative that we do. He's clearly hiding something. Gusto and Frost connection. Tell me, with these two frames of talking, yes, there must have been a connection of some kind. And if you would cease your base interruptions, I will happily tell you what it is. If this were a courtroom, I would have had you removed for contempt. I would have slapped you across the face. But that's only the judge's purview. Yeah. Judge Von Karma would probably have the answers too. What? If judges are so scared of him? Won't be an easy trial, that's for sure. Please, Mr. Von Karma, continue. It was simply a matter of coincidence. Though I do like this arranged version of the song. Better. Hold it! Hold the fuck up! Granted, it may have simply been a coincidence that they both entered the same competition, but it doesn't rule out a connection of some other kind between the two of them. I do hate to repeat myself, but if you do not have any pertinent evidence, then kindly keep your mouth shut. Guess I'll just do as he says for now. At least until I find the evidence that proves the Gusto is the Frost connection. Still, the look in your eyes speak volumes. Well, go on then. What are you trying to say? Make us up your mind, will you? Should I keep my mouth shut or not? Seems Mr. Von Karma is keen to keeping us away from the truth. Which means the truth must be inconvenient to him somehow, right? Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost had something in common. I just need to present the thing they shared. Mr. Von Karma? Is that shared correctly spelled? Yeah. Just had a brief moment of like, what the freak?
Objection!
I wonder if you can look at the two confections in the foreground for me, Mr. Von Karma. They were made for the contest semi-finals. Both are quite exquisitely crafted, wouldn't you agree? Get to the point. As the nameplate suggests, these were Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost's entries. Mr. Gusto told us that the confectionery design was far from his strong suit. And yet, his work in the picture is just as good as Mr. Frost's. Exactly as good, in fact. We learned from another witness that the two entries also tasted exactly the same. What are you suggesting? I'm saying that they were helping one another out. Let's take a closer look at this, shall we? One of them is a Pegasi, while the other is a Phenon. On first glance, the two may appear to be superficially different. It soon becomes apparent that there are significant similarities in how they were put together. They are made of the same ingredients, taste the same, and then share a similar aesthetic. Ergo, this picture is proof positive that the two are working together. If you think that much else, I suppose there's little point in denying it. Mr. Von Karma knew all along that they were cooperating? But I'll warn you, none of what you're about to hear will be to your advantage. None whatsoever. Let me confirm what you seem so desperate to prove. Gusto and Frost were indeed working together. Gusto spelled out the details of his relationship with Frost during his questioning last night. It seems they were helping one another right up until the day before the fight. So you knew that the two were cooperating, Mr. Von Karma. Why are you trying to bury the truth? I don't know what you're fucking talking about. Enough with the petty slander. I merely want to avoid you poking your nose around before I can provide proper context. It simply slipped my mind to explain that to you. Absolutely. Doesn't explain why he's being so separate with the facts, though. I need to figure out what it is he's hiding. I can't let things end like this. Frost's real connection. Let me convert what you suggested to prove. Well, we can look at all this. How far back does a text even go to? About that far back. I do hate to repeat myself. Keep your mouth shut. Well, there you go. Now we know. However, I feel that it's a good time to take a brief break to cross the hour mark. So, head to the living room, baby. We're gonna chill in here for like a hot moment. Seeing the encoding drop, it's always lovely. And grab yourself some drinks and snacks if so desire. We will be back very soon. See you in a bit.
before we hop back in, I just wanted to briefly bring up the thumbnail. Because yeah, I did finish off Ray. That's the first you're seeing of Ray. I feel like once we're finished with these streams, I'll either make a post on Twitter featuring all the extra thumbnail arts and sketches, and or maybe make a scene in OBS and show them off some other way. I think it'd be nice, you know? Make it look real good. But you know, for now, it's time to get back into the weeds and talk with VK for all this shit. Hold it! So you did know that there was a connection between the two. Why were you trying to hide it? I don't just hide those information like Ken. And certainly not to defense. Not like that lollipop nursing fool of a detective over there. You do things your own way, then I'll do mine. And you wonder why I refuse to share information from a traitor like you. Gusto spilled the beans. Hold it! Last night, after Mr. Frost's work melted, correct? Yes, I interviewed Gusto personally. Yeesh, a one-on-one with Mr. Von Karma. Must have been terrifying. I imagine Mr. Gusto probably meditated his way through his difficult parts. He most certainly did not. Every time he closed his eyes, I brought him back with an almighty snap. No one dares to believe the filth of me. I need to work on it. And that is how I was able to perfectly learn every last detail of Gusto and Frost's relationship. It seems that we're helping one another right up until the day before the final. Hold it! Why would they cooperate? Gusto said the design is subpar, and Frost was an amateur confectioner at best. Neither stood a chance of making it for the contest alone. So what was their end game? Why cooperate only until the day before the finals? Gusto claimed to have ended the scheme. Allegedly, he wanted to win on the final on his own merits. His one and only goal really was to be crowned the world's best confectioner, and his pride would not allow him to do so with the help of another. He's can only ever win with hollow victories, I guess. That was an impression that the cooperation had only backed up to the finals. I was trying to think it might have backed up to the final itself. Mr. Von Karma, I'd like to ask you some more about how long they worked together before, if you don't mind. If you must. Gusto said the design is subpar, and Frost was an active picture at best. The two cooperated until the day before the final and decided to compete on their own merits. Hold it! I really believe they were cooperating until the day before the finals, and then just simply stopped. Seems a little strange to me, wouldn't you? Objection! I have told you the truth. Whoever you find is strange enough is of none of my concern. Reader Ripley's why don't you? He was concerned enough to hide it from me only a few minutes ago. Which means there must have been a reason for that. Based on Mr. Tangaro's assessment, it sounded as if Mr. Frost's entry for the final was a clear win. Means he must have still been working with Mr. Gusto, right? Precisely what I was thinking. Must have some evidence to prove they were cooperating right until the final. Right up through to the final. Do 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 do. Semi-final case. Objection! Incorrect. It's not a thing to say, considering how it contradicts to this. A Von Karma is perfect in every way. There is no contradiction here. None. Jerk. Did you really think you can make so much as a dent in my logic with that? It's bullshit. Do do. What do we have? Oh, from hell, I did bad. It wouldn't be in that. We're gonna go back in time, press a little more. I'll hold the B button in case anything comes up again. Because if it's new text, it would absolutely say it. Huh. Snap my fingers. My fingies. Hold it! Before you ask, I'm not objecting to your characterization of Mr. Gusto's design sense. Yeah, he admitted himself it isn't all that great. He made what he was alleged to be a likeness of me. The second of the abomination that came up would turn to my stomach.
Yeah, kinda like the guy's work.
An artistically rich amateur and artistically impoverished profession. In a way, it was inevitable we would wind up working together.
Hold it! Certainly knew.
Objection!
Okay, no. It's not gonna be like this. You can't just broken clock it, my friend. Where's the gusto? Probably what I was thinking.
Objection!
Oh right, it was that bit. It was the evidence right next to it the whole time. Ugh. They weren't working together during the finals. I find it a little hard to believe. Miss Scone is on the record of having described Mr. Frost's creations as scrumptious. And while he was certainly skilled, I doubt even he could have a world-class perfection overnight. See, it's far more likely that he and Mr. Gusto were cooperating during the finals. How many times must I explain this to you? Assertions require proof, and one person's entire experiential statement is not proof of anything. Besides, even amateurs can occasionally make delicious food. Perhaps Frost was simply lucky. My wife, for example, is an amateur whose cookie puts first-class chefs to shame. How is that not an entirely subjective statement? Furthermore, you're ignoring another crucial part of the pharmacist's testimony. Namely, that she also described herself Frost's work as having been unbearably salty. In other words, your evidence actually shows that Frost failed to produce the perfect confectionery. Ugh. No more objections, I take it. There must be some way I can prove that Gusto and Frost were still collaborating. Mr. Reed? Something's been on my mind. Yes? What is it, Eddie? Mr. Frost's entry for the finals. Wouldn't have taken a while to make. I would imagine so. Making flavored water, freezing it, and all, then carving 2 whole sculptures? Could he really have done all that and help Mr. Gusto as well? If it was me, I'd have barely gotten as far as just setting the flavor water up the freeze point. I just can't see how Mr. Frost could have pulled it off. Perhaps there's some loyal instinct in you after all, Eddie. Pondering certainly point to another possibility. He's right. Mr. Frost would have needed something to freeze his own large blocks of favored ice for his art. There wouldn't have been time to do that during the contest itself. So what must Mr. Frost have done in order to finish his favored ice entries within the tournament? Make it out something else entirely. He must have made the favored ice the day before. And all he would have had to do was sculpt it. What are you wondering about now? Oh, I'm sorry, I just realized something. I realized that you're correct. What? Mr. E? I hope you know what you're doing. Oh, accepting defeat at last, are we? The only thing I'm accepting is payment for a meal out at a restaurant. If perhaps one of the things you said was true, they were helping one another right up until the day before the final. Just as you said, the day before the final really did mark the end of that collaboration. Yeah, get that arranged in there. Mr. Frost's entry was carved entirely from blocks of flavored ice which would have needed at least a day to freeze, and whose flavors would therefore have already been prepared by Mr. Gusto. Yes, which lines up perfectly with what Mr. Gusto told me, that he helped Frost until the day before the final. In that case, why did Mr. Frost reciprocate and help Mr. Gusto in return? This is needless badgering of me. I can hardly be expected to read the minds of the dead.
Objection!
Perhaps not, but I imagine Mr. Gusto could tell us. So why did you let us speak then? Or do you still insist your interrogation was as far as you claim? How dare you call my methods into question?
It's not my intention. I just don't understand why you would obstruct a perfectly valid line of inquiry. Give me one good reason as to why you're keeping Mr. Gusto from me. One good reason, certainly. The how and why of Frost and Gusto's collaboration have absolutely no bearing on this case.
Objection!
How can you possibly say that with any certainty? Their relationship would have been broken down for some reason. There could very well have been a motive behind the move. Could it indeed? And why did Gusto himself tell me all about it? Why did the man you seem so keen on accusing share the details of the collaboration with the prosecution? Please tell me you have some proof to back up your preposterous submissions that time. Mr. Gusto only acted suspiciously at one time, we know. And I imagine Mr. Von Karma is aware of exactly what that suspicious activity was. Which means this is probably a trap. Well, cat got your tongue. But even if this is a trap, I can't back down now. Mr. Gusto snuck into Mr. Frost's room. We still don't know why. The fact alone is enough reason to suspect him. If that's your only concern, then allow me to clear it up for you. I knew it. It was a trap. I was saving this for the trial, but consider it a taste of things to come. Plus, I hate for the proceedings to drag on because of your needless interjections. Look at this! Welcome, students. They don't even have the fucking flag on the left side or the right side anymore. That's Gusto and Frost, and their son. Family photo added to the court record. Frost, Gusto, and their sons. Gusto's son visited his father daily, up and through his every fight. Gusto stuck into Frost's room in order to retrieve this photograph. But why? It seems their sons attended the same elementary school. That's how they came to know each other. Gusto was concerned with the fact that Mr. Frost's acquaintance might place him under suspicion. A concern that you have just proven was entirely well-founded. Gusto's actions made perfect sense, and you would have given me no reason to believe otherwise. No, oh! That hit me in the jugular. He's never going to let me talk to Mr. Gusto. Now, if you're quite done obstructing my investigation, I have things to be getting on with. It smugs up like this jerk. I'll give him something to be getting on with. What do we do, Mr. Reed? Mr. Tangaroa is finished if we can't figure out something out. Things to be getting on with. What exactly could those things be? He has a body, a murder weapon, and a suspect in custody. The prosecution means to pursue Mr. Tangaroa, surely they have all they need. That's why Mr. Von Karma is investigating the scene of the crime. Something on your mind, Mr. Reed? I'm missing something. Something important. Mr. Von Karma has everything he needs to proceed with the prosecution of Mr. Tangaroa. And yet he still doesn't seem entirely confident in his case. If he was, why would he refuse to share the information with Detective Fed? Who else? They haven't seen the autopsy report yet either. That's probably got a hand in that too. No autopsy report. 24 hours post-mortem, and there's still no autopsy report. In addition, we still haven't solved the mystery of what happened to the evidence that went missing. Take another look at the scene in front of us, Detective. A very conspicuous pool of blood that should be here is clearly missing. You're right. I don't remember anybody mentioning there was blood along with the body. Evidence that turned up not in Tangaroa's room, but in a most unusual place. It's a match. Blood in the fountain. It's Frost. Why did you disappear? Where'd you go, bad? So there was no traces of Mr. Frost's blood in Mr. Tangaroa's room. Then we found some in the fountain instead. Why is it? Logic. And that's where I went, you see. Mr. Frost's blood was missing from the crime scene. But traces of it showed up in the fountain. Why go to the trouble of removing the blood from the scene after the body had been discovered? And why only the blood? Surely the body would have also been in the way. Wait, could someone have moved the body aside to get the blood? Or get to the blood? Meaning... the body might have been moved aside, or even removed from the scene of the crime entirely. After all, as far as we know, there's still no autopsy report. We've learned plenty about the murder weapon and its suspect, but very little about the body
wait, sorry.
Our assumption thus far has been that the body had been recovered by forensics team. What if that assumption is false? What if Mr. Von Karma wouldn't show Detective Bad the autopsy report of something other than spite? What if we've been thinking about this the wrong way around all along? The question isn't why did Mr. Von Karma hold back the information about the body? It's did Mr. Von Karma even have any information about the body in the first place? How do things go from that angle? Perhaps the body had been removed by the police in order to carry out an autopsy? It had already been removed and hidden away by the culprit from the arrival.
Mr. Reed?
We've both heard the rumors about Mr. Von Karma's questionable methods. Fabricated witness statements, shady deals, forged evidence even.
Sure, everybody's heard of this stuff. What's that got to do with us right now?
I would never judge a person on the basis of rumors alone. Even Mr. Von Karma. I tried my best not to let my preconceptions show color our interactions with him. Nonetheless, it appears he may be indeed a willing to twist the truth to his own ends.
To twist the truth? You mean he's been playing dirty?
I fear he might have been, and still is.
I'm not about to let him get away with it.
I'm returning to the prosecutor's office. Don't breathe a word about anything to this infernal attorney.
Yes, sir.
Hold it!
Hold your their fuck up phone.
Yes? What is it now?
I have a few questions, Mr. Von Karma, about a certain fact you've been keeping from us.
Really? You mean to call the efforts of an officially sanctioned investigation into question yet again? I'm warning you. If you obstruct the police and work any further, there will be consequences.
Objection!
It's not the police I have an issue with, Von Karma.
It's you.
What?
Isn't it from the prosecution to work out who the real culprit of a crime is? What foolishness is this? I have no intention of debating with the prosecution's always or not with the likes of you. But let me make one thing clear. My job is to identify suspects and ensure that every last one of them is convicted at all costs. Believe me when I say I leave absolutely no room of doubt while I present my perfect, unassailable cases.
Objection!
And how far would you go for your perfect cases? Would you create facts out of whole cloth, perhaps? And I thought you had outdone yourself already. But now you intend to accuse me of fabricating evidence?
I do. Because it is why you've done nothing but hinder Detective Bad from the job doing his job at every turn.
What are you talking about?
You didn't shut him out of the investigation because you wanted him to keep an eye on us. You did it as something for finding out that you don't even have the body.
What?
He doesn't have the body?
Objection!
Ridiculous! You're clutching at straws. I will tolerate no more of your preposterous slander.
Then allow us to examine it.
Prove me wrong if you can. I'm afraid you have to try a little harder than that. I am under no obligation whatsoever to prove your baseless accusations one way or another.
Objection!
I think you are, as you must have seen for yourself a piece of bloody cloth chocolate is missing from the scene of the crime. Why did it disappear? And where did it go?
What does it matter? Some blood went missing from the chest where the body was found. So what?
So what indeed? That's precisely my question. The body was still at the scene when the police got here. Removing the blood would have accomplished nothing. However, let us suppose for a moment the body was not. Someone wanted to erase any trace of what had happened to that room. It all makes perfect sense.
Objection!
What is this petty obsession with the blood stain? Blood since it's so important to you. Why don't you tell me why you believe it went?
Of course, after all, evidence is everything. You never tire of telling us. I believe this should back up my theory quite nicely. What happens to my hand that shows where the blood from the Tango's room went?
Dip, dip, dip.
It's this one down here.
Take that!
Shuffle this collar. Traces of the victim's blood were found in the fountain, along with traces of the chocolate from Mr. Tangaroa's room. I believe the missing piece of blood-stained chocolate was dumped into the stream that flows to the fountain, which strongly points towards one certain fact. Someone purposely disposed of the body after the blood had been removed from the chest. Ugh. Mr. Von Karma, where did you find the body? You didn't find it, did you? Answer me!
Where did you get your hands on that kind of evidence? You have neither the authority nor the means to carry out that kind of analysis on the fat of water. No. That. Curse you, Matt. You've been a fool of my sight from the moment you were inside. Well, no longer. As of now, you are officially off the menu. And I was very honored to begin with. Mr. Von Karma, you still haven't answered my question. Will you admit it? Will you confirm that no body was ever recovered? It's really quite the claim, you know. And one for which you'll never find any proof for, I'm afraid. What must I do to get an answer out of him? What I gotta do to get it through to you, so now, if you don't mind, I've given you quite enough of my precious time already. I look forward to destroying you in court, Gregory Edgeworth. Your precious logic and theories won't save you then. Nothing will. Mark my words, Mr. Von Karma, your methods will be your undoing. No matter how you try to hide the truth, I'll bring it all into light in the end. I will expose the truth you've hidden. Forgive me, Detective. I didn't mean to put you in a difficult position. Don't split it. So we'll end this way. Honestly, nobody's ever sidelined me the way he did before. First time for everything, huh? You know, I think you might be right about the body being missing. Oh yeah, and I'll prove it in court. But if anything I can do to help, just say the word. Since, you know, I'm on the case now. That's very kind. I'm sorry to keep asking favors of you, man. There is one more thing. One more thing. Hey, what are you guys whispering about? Come on, I'm being on a secret. Alright, Eddie. The detective and I were just awaiting a little insurance for the trial. I think we have enough to see Mr. Tangarura acquitted. But I prefer to have an ace in the hole, just in case. And? What is it? You'll find out in court. Wait, what? You letting me join you? Of course I am. Well, I'm my assistant after all. I'll be more than that by next year. I'll be a full-fledged attorney, you know. We can take on Mr. Von Karma together. Indeed. So, hoping very well we'll have free Mr. Tangarura by then. But if we're up against Mr. Von Karma, I guess we can't rule out the possibility that this might take some time. Right. Well, we'll do everything we can in the meantime. I know you can beat Mr. Von Karma, Mr. E. I believe in you. We can't allow Mr. Tangarura to remain in prison for a crime he didn't commit. And we won't. I'll expose Mr. Von Karma's lies if it's the last thing I do. And thus grayscale, because it was the last thing that Gregory did. How unfortunate. But that's dramatic irony for you. We've known this entire time that it was his last case, etc., etc. And that's the last of the Gregory segments, leading us to present-day Ray, or present-day Eddie, and all that other shit. And that's pretty much how things went down. Those are the facts of the I-7 as far as I'm concerned. Oh, I'm finally learning! I forgot to even put that on vibrate. But then, thought it was last case. So what happened after the trial? Well, he lost. Makaba did a real number on him. Really? You couldn't prove that Mr. Tangarura was innocent? Oh, we could prove it alright. You know, a decent little pile of evidence in our favor. The problem was, we underestimated Makaba. Fought even dirtier than we feared. I can imagine. Secure a conviction at all costs. That was always his guiding principle. Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Anywho, the trial dragged on and on. The whole thing took about a year and a half. I'll never forget the day the murder came down. December 28th that following year. 2001. It's April now, so... Ooh, mama. We're talking over 17 years ago. Time sure does fly, huh? December 28th. I was there that day 17 years ago. Sitting in the courtroom gallery. Just before the trial got started, Gregory noticed that Samson was looking even worse than usual. Turns out the poor guy had finally reached his limit. It was so bad, he even said he wanted to be found guilty. Wait, you mean they forced a confession out of him? Yeah. Von Karma's got what he'd been pushing for from the very beginning. And when Gregory tried to drop the bombshell about that being no body to speak of, he learned that Von Karma had used the power of the police to hail him off out of the pass. He even had himself a fake autopsy report, but that wasn't the end of it. Von Karma got Samson to falsely testify against himself to being an accessory to a murder in court. Combined with his confession, the poor guy's goose was well and truly cooked. Gregory still had his ace in the hole, though.
same AC acid bad to help him with. Exactamundo. He knew he needed one last card to play if they squeezed the confession out of Samson. So he had Bad record all of Samson's interrogations. I guess the Bad really wanted to know the truth too, huh? We all did. But he was a trooper. Stayed with the case even after Von Karma took him out of it. He was tied up in some other big case too. But all bad. They don't make them like that anymore. That case being Investigations 1 stuff. Anyway, Gregory presented the recordings as proof that Sanchez's confession was coerced. And you know what? It almost worked. A cop named Ian Seidman got fired. I guess that is slightly better than Replacer. As a replacer. I don't know. Maybe Rip is cooler, but Ian Seidman is kind of cool as well, in its own way. Samson's interrogator was the initial detective before Bad. He took the fall for pretty much the whole thing. Von Karma didn't get away scot-free. In fact, he was disciplined by the chief prosecutor for the one and only time in his 40-year career. Still, Samson himself couldn't stomach another day in court. So when that guilty verdict came down, he didn't just signal the end of that day, but of the whole sad affair. I remember a lot myself on my father's face when he declared Mr. Tangaroa guilty. I was a young child at the time, but even I could tell how much it was hurting inside. Gregory went to appeal the truth, but Ruley, of course, he would have done anything to clear Samson's name. But then, well, you know what happened next. Poor guy, he never got the chance. I should have left with him that day. I'll always blame myself for not doing it. But I shoved that aside and obsessed over something else instead. Or rather, someone else. I hated what you did. Hated you for choosing to stick with Von Karma. I hope you can forgive me. No, you had every right to hate me. I went on to become a prosecutor as planned, and that's when Mr. Von Karma showed me his case file. According to these records, Mr. Tangaroa was convicted as the main culprit in Mr. Frost's murder. Nope, that's not right. Samson was convicted as an accessory to murder. Strange. The file clearly states that he was the perpetrator. Plus, I'm fairly certain that all of Mr. Von Karma's cases were successfully solved. Mind if I take a peek at those? This file's been doctored. Part about the verdict has been changed. What? Here, feature papers on this. Organize a confectionery contest. Victim's body was found outside of his creation, leading to his arrest. While in detention, Tangaroa discovered that he had taste disorder, which was subsequently cured via medication. Verdict: convicted as accomplice, based on his confession. And it's a copy of the file they have on record at the courthouse. Then why is my copy so different? Well, you said it came from Von Karma, yeah? My guess is he didn't want Gregory's son thinking there was a murderer out there still at large. Didn't want you looking into it again before the statute of limitations was up. So everything would have believed that the case was a lie. Like they say, you all gotta start somewhere. What's important is you know what's what now. The statute of limitations may have run out, but the truth's still out there, you know. I inherited Samson's case when your old man passed. Prosecution handed it off to somebody else too. Great Von Karma wasn't going to bother facing off against a rookie like me, was he? Anyway, long story short, the killer was never found. Samson was found guilty instead. That's terrible! Is there anything we can do to help him? I'll have a real perp, I'm afraid. Until then, his confession stands. Speaking of which, I didn't find out until after the verdict had been handed down, but Von Karma had Fred and Samson and made him a deal. Told him if he didn't confess, he'd make sure Judy was convicted instead. How could he? Samson knew there was no way Judy could have done it, of course. But he wasn't going to take any chances, so he did what he was told and confessed to keep her safe. Now riddle me this, mousy boy. Why do you think your Uncle Eddie just happened to be the president that day Bronco Knight died? Oh, that's right! You would have seen Mr. Tangaroa, wouldn't you? Bingo. Judy and I both promised we'd visit him every day. I didn't quite keep that promise. But Judy did. She never missed one visit in all these years. Come rain or shine, she always showed up. But none of that changes the fact that Samson is still being unduly punished day after day. How heartbreaking. You've got to do something, Mr. Fender. Well, kiddo, that's actually why we came here. The ice sculptures are back on display, just like they were all those years ago. And we're gonna see what we can do to find out. Right, Miles Arena? I'm a prosecutor, Fender. I don't look at these things the same way as you do, my father. Miles. That doesn't matter right now. Speaking not as a prosecutor, but as Miles Edgeworth. As a Miles Edgeworth. Wanting the truth behind those cases. And I'm not leaving until I do. You really are old Gregory's son. Through and through. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. And I could do the engineering version. None of that sort of. We could really get to work. Good thing I brought the IS-7 case file and evidence with me today, huh? Here. Documents first. Who doesn't love paperwork, am I right? The parts in red ink are my annotations. Including his comments in red. Let's take a look at that, shall we? Oh, it's right here. Statute's limitations expired 3 years ago on December 24th. And Gregor's room. December 24th, 18 years ago. Rock salt lamp, yes. Oh, that what you read? Artie Frost, age 38, also known as Paul Holy, under which name he was a renowned sculptor in France. Contested in the confectionery contest, body was known in Gregor's room. Cause of death was a blood loss following a blow to the head. No detailed hospital report to the body going missing? Question mark. And that. Okay. Thank you, Fanda. And here's some evidence for you. Enjoy. There's quite a few, so I take it to the scope of mad about. Small mountain of evidence from the IS-7 is a receipt from Fender. Yes, I see. I'll take a look at him in a bit. It is a bit. It's been a bit, right? Yeah, here we go. Can't look at anything in detail. Think of it. Indeed. The key players of that incident 18 years ago, who just happened to get caught up in another incident. The ice sculptures in the winter wing that are perfect replicas of the ones from 18 years ago. The poison gas attack in the autumn wing, dipped in disguise like the winter wing. The two chemicals that were found inside a Pisces statue's display case, ubiquitous in this section, that a form of poisonous gas when mixed together. And also Larry, victim of the gas attack Carmela Gusto, who is no stranger to the events 18 years ago, and who is still unconscious and undergoing treatment in medical. And finally, we come to the body floating face down. And the fact that the ice sculptures have melted, just as they did 2 years ago. The events of the present day would appear to be intimately linked to the events of the past, which means they may be able to help us learn more about what happened 18 years ago. Sounds good to me. Let's get investigating.
Objection!
Oh no you don't! Aren't you forgetting somebody? I could have sworn this is my investigation! Names are on the fucking box. I see you. Oh no, oh no. Oh god. Don't do this to me! We back? I don't know how much of that was gone, but it was like no data for quite a bit. So yeah, I could have sworn this is my investigation. Eustace is quite right. I do hope you are intending to instruct him in his duties, Mr. Redwood. Yeah, that's an awful lot of dropped frames now. God. Would have hated to have added a guilty to my report of the committee. What am I guilty of now? Of course not. I'm simply offering once again to do what I can to help with the investigation. Your offer is duly noted. And duly declined. Oof! He isn't putting any punches. The identity of the body from the fountain is currently being ascertained. It is only a matter of time until we have all the information we need. Perhaps I can help you speed that process along. I think I have an idea of who our mystery victim might be. What? Really? Then you have to tell me. It's the law. Very well. Listen well and listen good. Maybe it isn't just the ice sculptures that have been reset for 18 years. The body in the fountain may also be a visitor from the past. Laurie! Laurice Donim. Pseudonym of Larry Potts.
Take that!
Deceased. I believe the body in the fountain is that of the man who was murdered here 18 years ago. Mr. Artie Frost. What? You're saying it was Paul Chillywings? Wait. Who the heck is Chillywings, or Artie, or whoever it is you're talking about? Artie Frost was a famous sculptor, Eustace. Although he was better known by his Paul Hollywood. The sculptures on display here are all his works. No way! Sounds like he did well for himself. Always good to encounter a fellow winner. Mr. Frost was also the victim in the IS-7 incident. She's a judge, of course she would have the documents. Mr. Edgeworth, the IS-7 is an 18-year-old case, and according to police records, the victim's body was recovered. All such things were duly carried out. Sure, that's what the records say, but the records can't always be trusted. What are you insinuating? While the records say stuff like body totally recovered, the defense back then begged to differ. Not that it stopped the prosecution from shutting them down hard, of course. Yeah, this is winner. What? Really? What is it, Eustace? The body. We got an ID. Some sculpture called Frost or something. So I guess Edgeworth called it? Goddess of Justice! So my father's deductions were right on the law. Well, Judge Gavell, I'd say this changes things, which perhaps now you'll admit that I might be of use in this case, more than a certain junior prosecutor. No fair! You're trying to steal that win! I'm doing no such thing. All I want is to uncover the truth. And if we're going to get to the bottom of what happened here, we'll need to work together. You do not need to do anything, and you do not need to know the truth. This case is none of your concern.
Objection!
Oh there, Judge G. I think you might be wrong about that. Enough of your interruptions, Mr. Fender. Yep. See, I was on the defense team for IS-7. This case is very much my concern. I was one of the pesky kids pushing my theory that the body had actually gone missing. The prosecution at the time may have brushed us off, but you can't deny the testimony to your eyes. I want to put it a little more bluntly. The prosecution's case was rotten from the ground up. When there's been miscarriage of justice caused by the prosecution, it's the committee's job to fix it, no? Yeah. Who better to help you unpick the mess than someone who's there at the time? Unless you had an ulterior motive. Hey, everyone knows that. Judge Gavell seems to know the facts of the IS-7 instead in some detail. In which case, I suspect she must be here on the committee's behalf. Your connection to the case is noted, Mr. Fender. But I fail to see how it concerns Mr. Edgeworth. Hold it. He's the son of the original defense attorney, and the protege of the case's lead prosecutor. And if that's not enough for you, he was at the trial too. I think it's just possible he might have had a little something to bring to the table, don't you? Very well. You may both assist in the investigation, but only if you refrain from interfering with the work of others. The winter wing is off limits for now. This room, however, is all yours. Alrighty, ready to hear on the same wavelength, G. Why don't we bring it in to show we're all on the same side of justice? Do not test me, Mr. Fender. Your permission to investigate can be revoked at any time. Duly noted, Your Honor. It's the turn up for the books, huh, Marcy? We gotta do our thing as after all. Thanks for your immeasurable help as always. No sweat. Besides, I was mostly doing it for me. Okay, I'll be investigating my own thing, so just holler if you find something interesting. I will. Well, okay, shall we? Heck yeah! Let's investigation commence. So long clear up the two key facts. How Mr. Frost's body came to be where we found it, and the source of the ubiquity. You're right. We need some more intel. Indeed, let's focus on the ubiquity first and foremost. Using stuff like dish up and paint, right? Correct. It's also bright red in color as a distinctive minty fragrance. Super minty. Okay. Sounds like we know what we're looking for. Begin investigation! Bound's tea sets laid out nicely and neatly on the surface shop. The pamphlet says the gallery is famous for its tea. Understandably so. Your cups were given. Looks like all this stuff was designed by Mr. Frost. Interesting. In that case, I think we better take a closer look. The dish spoil was made by Audie Frost. It looks very fancy. Oh, it is. I'm willing to bet that this set can fetch something thousands of dollars. So let's try not to touch any of it unless we absolutely have to. Whoa! Is this really worth that much? Stop it, Kay. I can see your eyes lighting up. This bound was ready to be a fan, Mr. Frost, like Defender said, and yeah, it still happens. Teapot, jot it down on my organizer. Hey, Reggie! What is it? You be careful with that teapot here. Why is Larry so concerned all of a sudden? Honored guests.
I can pour you a cup if you'd like. Expound.
Judy! I'm good, thanks. No tea for me. You two knock yourself out.
Thank you for the offer. Yes, why not? Quick break won't hurt. 2 cups coming right up. It smells great! Wow, it tastes even better than it smells. What type of tea is this, Mr. Retro? It's Ceylon, I believe. It's usually identifiable by its citrus aroma. It's bound. Is this the same blend you served this morning? Yes. Is it alright? There isn't anything wrong with it, is there? Oh, no, not at all. It's just that the cup you gave me earlier had a slightly different aroma. They changed? Really? Oh, that's odd. I used the exact same blend both times. I can't see what could account for the difference.
Hey, what's the big idea? Quit being mean about Judy's tea, will you?
What's going on under your skin, Larry?
Nothing. You're just rude. That's all. You don't even try to call me my right name. I'm Marie Stoneham, dang it. You know what? I'm done. I'm not talking to you anymore.
Well, that was childish, even for him. Wow, what happened there? Let's ask him about it later, shall we? Talking to Miss Bound is more of a priority right now. We may not have any evidence to prove that she's the culprit, but it does seem likely that the poison gas was her doing.
All that from just a tiny little teapot.
That is one swanky teapot. That's one way of putting it. I lean more towards eccentric myself. Whatever it is, it won't do for a great thief to remain so ignorant about such cheap things. Actually, your ignorance is my bliss. Womp womp. Like father, like son. Yes. Is that a CPH, right, Miss Redwood? Yes. Sort of teapot was made by Paul Haley. There is initials, obviously. Right, but I thought his real name was Harry Frost. It was, thereby making this a piece of thinking the IS said it as well. And its work seems to be everywhere here in Zodiac Hall. We can rotate this so that instead it's high definition, like the collection we're playing. Not the tea set. Okay. A moonshot tea pot covered by a set of Starship cups. It's the set with which Miss Bound served as our teachers now. However, I can't help but notice that the tea smelled different from the cups we were served this morning. There's some reason for that. The tablecloth draped over the cart is pure white and completely spotless. I'm just waiting for me to grab it by the edge, clear my mind, and whoosh! Okay, I cannot stress enough how bad of an idea that would be. Aw, come on! What's the worst that could happen? Even if it does go sideways, we'll just wind up with full tea-colored tie-dye. Yes, well, I'd rather it remain white. Plus, I think Miss Brown would appreciate us meddling with it. Really? There's so many other colours it would totally work. Pink, sky blue, tea leaves brown. Tea leaves brown, my goodness. Let's not worry about that just yet. What's this shit on the floor? Hey there, Mazzarino. What's the situation with the investigation? Things are progressing. I think a fuller picture of what happened is beginning to emerge. Good to hear. Guess I better settle my game too then. I wasn't intending to speak with you, Eddie. I was looking for the shit on the floor. Fuck, it happened again! Shit! Floor! Huh. Colour and aroma. I'd say this is shit. A spilt tea. Look, there's a small chunk of ceramic in it. Ceramic fabric data jotted down on my organizer. I guess somebody must have broke something. I know the insignia. I'm like certain high-strung somebody just might know it something too. Statues of a man and a woman in old-timey clothes.
Did Paul Holly make these as well?
Yes. It seems he created them later in his life once he had begun to make a name for himself. That's why I pushed him to sculpt 2 of them as ancient gods, and he couldn't say that it was beloved. The title is Beautiful Goddess Venus and Her Humble Servant. When I talk about putting his goddess on a literal pedestal. It's true. Why is there a lift car just sitting here out of the open? Somebody must have been moving something heavy. The top of the platform seems to be wet. You know, I got a funny feeling I've seen this thing somewhere before. You mean like 18 years ago before? Yeah, it's all coming back to me now. I last saw it in Frost's room. He must have used it to move the ice sculptures around. It's one of those fancy numbers where you can change not only the platform's height, but even its angle. If you have one of these, you can move giant lumps of ice around, no sweat. Lift cut data jotted down in the organizer.
No, just think of the possibilities. I could really use one of these. Still doesn't explain what it's doing here, though. Bit of a head scratcher, but we should give it a think, yeah?
Indeed. After all, it just might have something to do with our case. What do you have to say for yourself?
Do you mind, Mr. Winner? You're in my way. I do mind, actually. I'm not going anywhere. You'll just have to go around.
Well, we just thought you might want to move to a better spot, that's all.
What better spot? I demand you show it to me at once.
Is that really all it takes to make you do whatever we want? Someplace better, I'm sure.
Hello there, dearie. Still investigating away, are you? Found anything interesting? No, dearie. Well, nothing much anyway. Silly girl, that wasn't a dearie moment. That was more of a lambkin. Sweetheart is for when you're being sympathetic, of course. And treasure for when they're in a tiz. Love is for people who you're not that keen on. And petal is useful when you're trying to get someone's attention. I didn't realize there were so many rules. Mr. Roger of Petal, I hope you're getting all this down. Don't even try, Kay. Oh, dearie me. Oh, dearie, dearie. I'm going to keep this simple, Larry. You're hiding something, so just tell me what it is. Well, quit it with the glare off you two, it's weird. No, come on, Kay. You know me better than that. I wasn't staring, I was struck by an idea for a picture. No, Edgy, he was glaring. Yes, and I'll keep glaring at you until you tell us what it is you're hiding. Quit it! I already told you. I'm not talking to you anymore. You're talking to me right now. I mean, from now on, I'm not talking to you ever again. Starting now. This is getting me nowhere. Suppose I'll have to figure out what he's hiding first before I can get to the whole truth of this. Come on, Larry. Spit the fuck out. I'm not saying. Not at all. Look, you two. This is no time for kids' games. Well, I said he wasn't playing. It's pretty clear Larissa isn't going to talk to you. Oh, he'll talk. Don't you worry about that. I need to know what Larry's hiding, and I think I might have an idea of what it is. Perhaps presenting him with the right piece of evidence which forced him to come clean. Say, buddy. He has nothing to say. Would you mind taking a look at this for me, Larry? Why would you show me that? Tell me, what is it about Miss Bounce's tea set that got you so agitated? If you won't tell me, then perhaps you'll prefer to explain it to Judge Bell. Wait! Don't make me look bad in front of Verity! She thinks I'm a sensible, cool, clean-cut guy! I don't want to hear her see the real me! The real low-down, dirty me! I'm not so sure anybody here thinks you're particularly clean-cut, Larry. But if you don't want her to think badly of you, the best thing you can do is talk to me. No, alright, I'll talk. Alright, Larry, enough is enough. Now confess. Good. There's only way to teach your best friend, Eddie. Is there any way for you to treat yours? You just call me Eddie by lying to him and hiding things too? I get the picture already. Stop glaring at me like that. I'll tell you everything, okay? Earlier, I love Verity might like a cup of tea. So I went to pour one for her. But I got distracted, and my hand slipped and smashed. I broke this teapot. Our price is a work of art. It's in pieces because of me. No words exist to describe how far away I saw this coming from. Ouch. Really messed up this time, Laurie. See, Edgy, because everyone's gonna think less of me now. Judy's never gonna forgive me for this. Crying to me won't do you any good. I think you need to apologize to Miss Bound. Begging on your knees. My teapot, I see. I'm sorry, Judy. I'm so sorry. No, I don't have any money, but I'll paint your portrait. I'll paint you 50 portraits. Please, Mr. Donut. It's really me who should have been apologizing. How could I have failed to notice that there was broken pieces of ceramics on the floor? Somebody could have been hurt. Here, let me make sure that's safely disposed of. The teapot in question was designed by Artie Frost, correct? I understand it was something you've long treasured. You must be upset. Oh, I am. But of course, things break eventually. And as luck would have it, I have another identical teapot. It's far from the end of the world. Is she less attached to us than Frost's work than she used to be? I can't believe this, Judy. You're the sweetest, the kindest. Ah, this other teapot you're talking about. It's the one sitting on top of the cart right now, right? What do you mean? Yeah, so when I smashed the first one, I tried to hide pieces in the bottom of the cart. And that's when I saw the other pot in there. So I took it out and basically switched the two pots. Oh, I see. Yep, that's everything I have to tell you. I'll be extra careful not to break the other one, I promise. You have no shame whatsoever, do you? I'm sorry. It's really quite alright. Thank you for being so honest. See, Angie, isn't Judy the absolute best? Trust she won't take advantage of her kindness and will make amends somehow. I sure will. When I to make it as an artist, I'm gonna give her one of my paintings. She was one of my models after all. It's only fair. At this risk, Artie's likely to make more trouble than amends. Don't you think it would be better for you to keep this out of her way for a very long while? No, but I will be keeping her out of the way. Because I sketched her and the others already. Her and the others? Keen to see my work, huh? Yeah, I drew a few great sketches of some ravishing beauties. Wanna see? You said Louise's ravishing beauties, huh, Miss Redwood? I'm afraid you've greatly misjudged, Kay. I simply wish to see if Larry had kept any unusual details this time, too. Unusual details? Nothing unusual about these. They're my best works yet. Really? I want to see them too. Oh, you're a sweetheart, Kay. Alright, let me dig them out for you. Give me a sec. So you might as well take a look. So these sketches of yours. Seriously, Edgy, if you want to check out my art, you should just say so from the get-go. Here, feast your eyes on this. Lovely, look at that. What am I looking at here? I told you already, it's ravishing beauties. There's a few of the fair faces that have caught my eye since I've been here, you know. There's Verity, and Judy, and, somebody else. Why did you draw them all on the same page? Well, I mean to draw the room at first. There's something to pass the time. Then I saw one beauty, and another, and well, I just scribbled them down as well. These were all drawn at different times. Huh? Yeah, I guess. I did one of you too, Kay. You're on a different page, though. Oh, you did? I'm flattered. Not true to life are these sketches. Do you only draw what you actually saw? Of course. You think I draw things I can't see? Like, use my imagination? Nope, these are 100% true to life. Right down to the exact shades of each color. So the colors are accurate. Interesting. Much as it pains me to admit it, Larry may have provided me a useful piece of evidence yet again. A certain card in the sketch, for example. I compare it to the one here in the room. There's a clear contradiction between these two. I think a little deduction is in order. Could I borrow the page for a while, Larry? Sure thing. You want me to sign it for you? Just the page, please. Larry's sketch. Sketch is. He sort of sparkles. It's incredible. Usually you see those by like Regina and shit, but not this time. Deduce these nuts. Wrong button. I pressed the A button. Larry, can I ask you something about your sketches? Fascinated by the works of the great Louis Stoneham, huh? It's the composition, right? Not exactly. It's light blue tablecloth. You painted that exactly as you saw it, correct? I already told you. Everything's exactly as I saw it. The tablecloth in the corner in this room is white. Wow. Your head's so full of crazy theories. The simple stuff just passes you right by, huh? What's that look for? Listen, just before I drew that sketch, I was in the middle of some business with the tea selling it, okay? What kind of business? That's right! It was the hiding the price of the tea that I said was fine. Something to boast about. Anyway, I was still in the middle of cleaning it all up when Judy came out of the window wing. I didn't want to get busted for breaking the pot, so I quickly drove out of sight. Wait, it was bound. Came out of the winter wing? Yeah, and she was pushing a cart. A different one. That's the one with the light blue tablecloth on it that I drew. And what did she do with the second serving cart? Well, I saw her wheel into the summer wing, but I don't know what happened after that. When she came back out, she was pushing one of those other carts, the kind you can lift stuff with. A lift cart? Yeah, so I called out to her. She just ran off and left behind. Never had it down as just high type. That goes to show, you never know. Another serving cart and a lift cart. Guess there may be another tea set too. You better check if it's bound. What even is this? Caddy containing Ceylon tea leaves. Ah, it's a well-crafted tin canister designed to prevent moisture and sunlight from damaging its contents. Not a bad thing you should consider the quality of blend this bound serves. Okay, so there's nothing too much left. You probably speak with other people. So it's just Miss Bound we need to speak with. But I think it's been another hour or so. Should take another quick break in the living room. With a couple extra frames that are being dropped. So, we shall return in due time to continue and speak with Miss Bound. See you in a bit. I knocked the controller and moved a tiny little bit. And I'm gonna walk around the room whilst it's tiny. It's only walking, and for some reason the left-right stick doesn't want to do diagonals. So I have to do the awkward bits. I guess the right stick is treated as like the D-pad. I don't get why, but hey. Back to you. Also, I apologize for the terrible Shaggy impersonation. Apparently I'm not very good at it. No, I thought I was doing decent enough at it. It's all wacky, to be sure. Where were you before you rejoined us here, Miss Bound? I had to go and tell our visitors were closed. Oh, and hand out a little something and apologize. Was there something you wanted to talk to me about? Yes, a few things, actually. Not least of all, the fact that I think you might be the one who sent the poison gas trap. Are the 2 serving cards here at the gallery, Miss Bound? Oh, yes. Why do you ask? A certain so-called artist showed us a sketch. We couldn't help but notice the color of the tablecloth. It's light blue. Light blue? I'm afraid your friend must be mistaken. I only use white tablecloths, actually longer than starch. But the perfect wrinkle-free ones on the card here in the powder, right? Exactly. If I saw so much as a blemish, I would replace it right away. But the color of the tablecloth in the sketch simply be a mistake on my own part. Do you have any idea what you might have been doing when the sketch of this was drawn? Let me see. I appear to be carrying my usual duties. I'd like to ask you a little more about these duties, if I may. What exactly were you doing when this sketch was drawn? Because from what I can see, your cart doesn't have a tea set on it. Perhaps there is some chocolate so you're investigating opposite. Aw, no, I'm jealous. I love chocolate. Well, there were a few left over, so here, for you both. I made these myself. I hope you like them. Woohoo! Thanks. Well, why not? They were a little melted, but I suppose it's because they've been sitting around in a pocket. and made by Bound. Super sweet, I love it. I'm very glad to hear it. They may not be the prettiest, but I'm grateful for the energy for some of these. And perhaps they could do a little less sugar. The original ice sculptures melted 18 years ago, correct? How did you manage to recreate it? Oh, you know what happened back then. In that case, you might also know I took pictures of them during the contest. I commissioned the creations of seven replicas based on these photographs to its coatings. Why go through the trouble of creating replicas? The Frost Zodiac series was great unfinished mess. Wanted to see it completed at last. Or rather, recompleted. It was my fault that the original set melted in the first place after all. I see! Is there any particular reason why the winter and autumn wings are so similar? Oh my. Is there anything they look alike? Perhaps I used some of the decorations from one of the other lands. I just could be lying. I don't have the evidence to prove it just yet. We do have this. You should give me a few of these cloths that laid up when you attach it to a special device. How many did she give you exactly? Also, what are you doing, Walter? I see you. 4, I believe. There were 4 luminous cloths in the autumn, and I'm sure I saw another one somewhere else. But the reading this bound is hiding something. Pisces. The hunt is on. The truth will come out. But I don't know. Or is that something? Ping. I guess we're going to find out. Ha! If I inadvertently stumbled on the set of Kate Crimes the musical or something? Oh my goodness. Good heavens. Did you like my chocolate? Oh yeah, they were super sweet. I love them. I'm very happy to hear it. Santa has such a sweet tooth. You wouldn't have them any other way. They may not look the best at the moment, but a lover for a family shines through in how they taste. Walter, what are you doing? At least you're here. Should we present this? This snip card. I heard it was used 18 years ago. That's right. It was in another room earlier until I brought it out here. It's very useful for moving large, heavy objects around. But why is it wet? Was it used to carry something wet? We can, in fact, investigate this fucking thing. Look at how wacky it is to investigate. The top of the platform is wet. Maybe someone used to move something liquidy around. Yes, but the question is who? What? Let's keep looking around. Maybe you talk to Bray in a bit, or Eddie. The morning's been turning back to the lab, sir, and autopsy's on the way. How's the rest of the town looking? Rather beautiful, actually, sir. The water's crystal clear and kind of soothing. Looks like there was a flooding in it not so long ago, huh? Eddie? This case seems to have a lot in common with the years of 3 years ago. And how? It's got a lot. Mountain statues of the widow wing, and even the murder victim's body. I don't know if we can figure out that body had come missing. Ross had no family apart from his son. Well, the kid kind of vanished. Nobody's seen it since around the time of the incident. Just those son, too. Him and his best pal from school both just up and disappeared. What? And they were never found? Just those boy wasn't. Not as far as I heard, Guess Frost kid turned nothing in the end, though. He collected his inheritance at some point. But yeah, with no family around, just after the incident, Frost got no funeral. No nothing. So no need for the police to release the body. And no need for anybody to find out they didn't have it. They probably filed a fake autopsy report and nobody was any the wiser. Well, almost nobody. I can't believe Mr. Volcano would have stooped so low. Oh, Judy's special homemade chocolate delights. The sweetest treat a guy could hope to eat. You know what goes well on one of those, Miles-o. Nice strong coffee, that's what. That's so. We'll have to give it a try. Did I tell you these are Samson's favorite? I hope they still bring him some sweet comfort after everything's been through. I think I get it. So this is it, huh? Key to unraveling this whole mystery? Yes, perhaps. Great. You keep all of it then, yeah? Privy now. Back in your pocket it goes. He doesn't think much of it. So that's fate. Alright. Let's keep going through the list. Hope for something. Alright, I have to keep pressing the button a second time. Doesn't know anything about the photo of the friends? The A family friend. Ah, this takes me back. Perhaps you could take a closer look. You might notice something new. Thing is, Mazzolino, I've been racking my brains about this case for 18 years now. I wouldn't hold out much hope for a Eureka moment. You, on the other hand, fresh eyes, fresh face, fresh attitude, you might spot something. I'm gonna take a stab at what his coolness is saying, but no comment. Alright, try not to pass the bug next time. Well, that was a waste of time. There is one thing we can try. So we have some in evidence. Minty fragrance, a tea smells different. Or it's the other way around. No, nothing yet. Womp womp. Who joined us? It's Winston! What are you doing, Winston? Just making sure I know where you're at. Well, hey. I suspect the difference in the aroma we noticed is due to the teapots having been switched. You do? I can't see what else it could have been. The tea itself had been changed. Why don't we ask Miss Bounds, just to be sure? Miss Bounds, the difference in aroma we noticed. Do you think it could have been because of the different teapot? Oh god, why am I... Oh god, I'm so sorry for doing the right into the microphone. I didn't have any time to really, like, yeet or anything. Many apologies. I suppose so. My cup just now had a subtly minty scent. Rather like uva tea. Oh, I just remembered. I made some peppermint tea in that pot only yesterday. That must be where the minty aroma is coming from. Could that really be it? The tea from the teapot Larry switched from under the cart smelled faintly of mint. Right! Spounces used the pot to make peppermint tea yesterday. I think another sneeze is coming. Nope. Rude video. Rude mouth. Rude nose. Making sneeze. Yes, but there's something else that's been troubling me. Miss Brown seemed more taken aback by the switching of the teapots to the breaking of one. You're right. She flipped it the other way around. She might have been deliberately hiding the teapot underneath the car. But why? One of Ubiquitous key characteristics is minty fragrance. So what if she had been hiding some in that teapot? What? In the teapot? It's simply a possibility, but worth investigating, I believe. Mr. Winner, any luck finding that Ubiquitous? Oh. My people are searching the entire gallery. They haven't found anything yet. And what about you? Don't tell me you know where it came from. I may have an idea. Ha! I knew it. If I can't find it, there's no chance of use this. What? You do know it came from? Yes. Where? Tell me so I can take the claim, take the blame, and the credit. Mr. Bounds' teapot. Wow! Ooh, nice piece. I like it. Yeah, this is like a fitting prize for a natural-born winner. It's not a prize. Find a piece of evidence. Oh, it's just evidence? Then I'll have one of the forensics people check it out. Mr. Edgeworth, is there some sort of problem with my teapot? Possibly. The minty fragrance we noticed coming from it. I think it just might be the scent of one of the chemicals used to make poison gas. But, Mr. Edgeworth, surely you don't think I had anything to do with that? I'm afraid I do. The methods used to create the gas would have required considerable preparation. Nobody would have had the time or the opportunity to set up that except for you. That's not strictly true. It took around a week to get the Zodiac all ready for the exhibition. There were all kinds of people coming and going through here during that time. Alicia for one. So you see, I'm not the only person who could have set it up at all. The Scone is on our radar too, of course. You needn't worry about that. Besides, I wouldn't know the first thing about making poison gas. Even if you did find some big green on the teapot, I wouldn't have had any idea what to do with it. But I suppose we should see what the test results say first. Miss Bound claims she doesn't know the first thing about making poison gas. We need to find a way to prove that she isn't lying. Oh me, oh my. Have we spoken to you? I do mind. Yes, we do. Justine? I don't think you've gotten away with anything, Mr. Edgeworth. I'll be reporting your actions to the committee.
Do whatever you need to, Judge Cavell.
And we'll do the same! You had a self-styled great thief, correct? Mr. Retro's association with such a character will be of interest to you, of course. Go ahead and report me to your stupid committee. Oh, toast of the thieving community. It looks like Judge Cavell will have to think of some new threats if he wants to intimidate King. Or even imitate. Take a look at this. It seems the... What are you doing, Walter? Just keep an eye on you. Just don't want you stepping on wires. Seems the police body are reporting. Why did the body of a victim 18 years ago turn up in this fountain? Why wasn't it all rotten and stuff? Did it slowly shuffle this way here? Need I remind you? Walter, you're lying directly on a cable. Walter, buddy. Please. Probably wouldn't have done anything, but, you know. Gotta be certain. Need I remind you that zombies aren't real? Seems likely the body was preserved somehow. Really? Is that even possible? Hey, Mr. Forensics guy, anything to report?
Yes, ma'am!
Traces of both ubiquity and excision have been detected in the fountain. I'm gonna say they were probably carried here by stream from the autumn wind. In addition to those two chemicals, there's also a large amount of sugar. The composition of the sugar is being analyzed as we speak. Sugar in the fountain. Where would it even have come from? Beep beep! Phone call. Petro speaking.
Sir, it's me!
Everything alright, Detective?
Everybody's left the window wing. It's just me in here now. Which means I can tell you what we found out.
You really shouldn't be sharing information about the investigation. But after the past week or so, I'm not about to solve it now.
The exhibits in here have all completely melted, you see. All that's left in the display case is some stuff at the bottom. More of it in the Taurus case at the Gemini one.
Describe the stuff for me if you can.
Yes, sir! It's like a pale blue liquid. I had the lab run some tests off now. The sample from the Taurus case just had a bunch of sugar in it. That one from the Gemini case had 3 different substances in it. Which were sugar, salt, and blood.
Blood? What a salt and blood to go in the Gemini case.
Can't imagine what blood it could possibly be, but I'll get a test to run away, sir.
Please do, Detective.
No, I also spoke over the radio with the forensics guy working in the fountain. He said he just got word that the sugar they found in the fountain matches the sugar in the pale blue liquid.
I see. That might well prove to be a significant development. Gemini case analysis results. Nice. Anything else to report, Detective?
Yes, sir. We found one of those light-emitting diodes in lighting middle wing 2.
A few of those being used in the auto wing to disguise it as a winter wing, I'm Seems the equipment making years ago is more than just for show. We need to talk to his Skern about this.
Anyhow, I better get back to it. I'll let you know as soon as we hear from the lab about that plot.
Yes, thank you, Detective. Was that coming? Seemed like he had a lot to say. He did. And a lot of it was very useful. I'm going to prove that Miss Bound's claims are about Uga's set of the poison gas trap are false. I'll need to talk to a certain somebody else who was here 18 years ago. Miss Skern, I'd like to ask you a few questions if I may. Of course, dearie, fire away. Anything for you, Marzy Smarzy, dear sweet little Tooth DK. I appreciate if that was the last time you called me Marzy Smarzy. I'm not a fan of Tooth DK either. Well, you just have to I can lump it. I can't do anything once I've settled on it. Ugh. Well, I guess we tried. What can you tell us about the various devices used to decorate the galleries and scenes? There seems to be more pretty specialized items in use. Light-emitting diodes, luminous fabrics. Oh, I can tell you all about those, dearie. Excuse me. After all, I'm the one that gave them the movie duty. It was my way of saying sorry after I broke the rules all those years ago. I brought in 4 lovely new salt lamps, and I gave her the copies of this plot I used for the contest. Wow, that's super generous of you. Well, us girls have to do our best. Why did I even? I did not even remotely read the entirety of that. Well, us girls have to do our best, don't we? Now I really understand the rules. That better not be a dig at me, Delish. I told you how I thought I was. Yes, I'm your dear, sweet, innocent baby boy. What happened to you, eh? The dear, sweet, innocent baby boy? Fender? Can't quite picture it, I have to say. Those decorations, they're all the same as the ones you saw 18 years ago, correct? Yep. Salt lumps, blown fabric, light of it, and doodads, the whole thing. Folded in this cloth in use in the other one. I'm sure I saw another one somewhere. I'm not lying! Oh, it's in my bag somewhere, I'm sure of it. Well, actually looking for? That's not it. And that's not it. Clock looks familiar. Maybe we should jog our memory or something so Miss Scone will tell us more. You had a piece of fabric like this in your bag, didn't you, Miss Scone? Albeit a somewhat grimier one. Grimy? How rude! You don't get people to cooperate with little investigations like that, young man. That's one of those patented hiccup burps. I apologize. Shall I call it a dish towel then? Perhaps you use it to wipe with some sort of spillage. A spillage, he says. A cheek! A piece of highly specialized luminous cloth. Oh, I probably shouldn't have told you that. I think I'd like to know a little more about this highly specialized luminous cloth, if you don't mind. Why didn't you want me to know you had a piece of cloth on your bag? Oh, well, I suppose. There's no point in hiding now, is there? You must know I fished it out of the fountain. It was right before they called me into the Autumn Wing. That's what I was catching Miss Scone when she was trying to retrieve the cloth. At first I thought it was one of the ones I'd given Moody Judy. One before you give the gallery, correct? Exactly! But all four being using the Autumn Wing, weren't they? So I realized. It must be the one that went missing all those years ago. I'd already had my Investicide Ultra pinched and used like poison gas. One of my cloths turned out to have been used in some sort of dastardly deed too, well, I was going to look guilty as sin, wasn't I? So I kept it in my bag and hope for the best. I see. Ooh, it does feel good to get it off my chest though. Chest is no good for the complexion. How old is this one? So the cloth that disappeared 18 years ago, the one that the victim was wrapped up in, just so happened to reappear in the fountain at the same time as the body. Luminous cloth data updated the organizer. Woo! Guess this too. Miss Scone, you're something of a specialist. How might someone learn to make the poison gas that was used in the attack? Any ideas? Well, any pharmacist who ever handled the Investicide Ultra would know for a start. After all, this is it right there on the label. Do not mix the products when hitting you ever. Well, what about a layperson? It's unlikely they know, wouldn't you say? I suppose so, yes. Well, not unless they have known for the ultimate cookbook anyway. Prize for the contest 18 years ago. What's going on here? Oh, it's just you scratching your head, Flotter. The recipe for making Investicide Ultra, along with that not mixing a ubiquitous bit, is in there, you know? In the offer. So you're familiar with the context of the book? Oh yes, dear. I know it inside out. Because I work for the Tangerine Group, you see. We're the company behind Cold Killer X. I'm sure you've heard of it. Cold Killer X. Fights back devils and sneezes with ease. Well, apparently. After Sandy people was found guilty, the company took custody. They only grant their most trusted people access to it, of course. Since Miss Scone is one of those elites, I suppose. Think we can do this? Have you read the Ultimate Cookbook, Miss Scone? Of course I have. I am a pharmacist, you know, even though I do have a big hat. I think it's so cool you're a pharmacist. Well, so do I, dearie, so do I. Aren't you a sweetheart with a little 2TK? Since when were you interested in pharmaceuticals? Shh, I'm working with my magic right away. Following her up so she'll do what I want. Anyway, Miss Scone, Deletion. I was wondering if you could maybe... No! How many times did you take your limp? Until you decided, I can't change it. Dang. So much for a sneaky approach. What kind of great thief am I? Not a very good one. Oh, you really do carry some cute rubbish around, you don't you, Master Smarty? All I could do is cover up with cream for you. Sprinkle a few. There'll be no need for that, Miss Frankie, Miss Scone. Okay, nothing. Oh, these are Moody Judy's chocolates, aren't they? Oh, but dearie me, they're all a bit melted. I suppose to eat them before that happened, you know. Silly Billy. Actually, they were already like this when she gave them to us. Maybe she was taken in by your sweet face and became all hot and bothered. Halsey smiles. Hey, Faraday. I'll thank you never to call me that again. Oh, look at that. A picture of silly old me. That's right. You seem to have caught the artist's eye. You mean lovely Laurie Lampkin? I'll have to have a word with her and say thanks. Well, I'll be glad to introduce you. And there's the illustrator. Alright, is there anything else? Ooh, okay. This. Who knew you could make a lamp out of rock salt? Of course you can, dearie. You wouldn't want to get it wet, but it's fireproof. You're never so certain. Sturdy enough to make for a surprisingly good murder weapon, in fact. Yeah. We know that the bulb in this lamp probably broke because it was used in murder. But then, what happened to the other one? She knows that she did that. Talk about that. It's true, Tiffy, I do know how to make poison gas. But the fact that someone knows how to hold a gun doesn't mean they shot anybody, does it? I'm not accusing you, Miss Go. She's right, you know. Just because I'm a great thief doesn't mean I can't do good. Exactly, dear. And just because I'm a perfectionist doesn't mean I can do good. Should be the only post the fake perfectionist. This, not important. Oh, he spoke about the grimy. All that. Okay. Well, the blowtorch is another one. No. Winterwind, no. Walter, you making a decision, are you? And this. No, okay. So there's nothing important left to learn from her. So I get maybe we have one thing. So who haven't we spoken with? Judy Bound. Tell me, Fender, what kind of person is Bound? Huh? Wait a minute. What are you doing, Walter? Wait a minute. Don't tell me you got a thing for her, Master. I do not. Chill, chill. I'm just yanking your chain. Anyway, what can I say about Jude's? Well, she's a real brave tuber for one. What else do you call someone who waits around for 18 whole years like she has for Samson? Even after his extended family kicked her out of this place. What? You threw her out? Yep. Jude wasn't technically part of the family. There was nothing she could do. She had nothing. Nobody. No job after Samson took the fall. So she had no choice but to take what he taught her and make her own way in show business. She's retired from all that now, though. Yes, why did she retire? She'd finally made enough to buy the old place back. She even got the ultimate cookbook back from the Tangle group that basically stole it. Bound's actions. Guess this place and everything to do with it was all she ever cared about. So she just wanted to live back. All of it. And it seems very sympathetic to this Bound's plight. But from a less charitable perspective, she has, in a way, taken everything of Mr. Tangle for herself. The Ultimate Cookbook contained instructions on how to create the poison gas, and the current owner of that book is none other than Miss Judy Bound. No way! You mean? I'm afraid I do. Miss Bound would have been perfectly capable of setting up the gas trap. Finally, we can prove that she's been lying to us. Way-ho! And healed up too. And that's that. All that's left now is to wait the results of the test on the teapot. To be continued! Oh me, oh my, who would have thought? We don't have to keep going. Keep doing it in this file. Woo! April 2nd. Happy non-April Fool's Day. First test results have come in, sir. Traces of your bakery was found in the teapot. They were? Just like Mr. Reginald said. Curse you. You better not think this means you beat me. You really need to drop this obsession with coming in first, Mr. Wayne. We're all on the same side here, remember? We're all trying to get to the truth. What? But first is best. Everybody knows it's better to be a winner than a loser. There's really no way for a prosecutor to think, not a successful one. But I... Settle down, Eustace. Mr. Edgeworth, please refrain from taunting the boy. Ignore him, Eustace. He isn't worthy of your attention. But Gavel... Oh, alright. Why don't I take care of things here for now? In the meantime, you can perform the far more important task of going and checking on them. Oh, yeah! Good idea. I'll be right back. Excellent. We shall see you shortly then. Ta-ra! Mr. Wynn is annoying, but totally harmless. Judge Gavel, on the other hand. Now... Miss Bound, perhaps you could explain why traces of your big room were found in your teapot? I had no idea there was anything like that in there. Perhaps it's one of the ingredients in the dishwashing soap I used. So you were telling the court that you did not intentionally put your big room in the teapot? Yes, exactly. Why would I? Until today I had no idea that it could be used to make poison gas.
Objection!
Horse! Apples, you're a trained actress, are you now, Miss Bound? I thought you'd be a more convincing liar. What do you mean? You've access to the Ultimate Cookbook, correct? A book that just happens to contain instructions on how to create poison gas used in the attack. perfectly possible for you to know exactly how to... Yet you're very well informed, Mr. Edgeworth. Misbound. Is what Mr. Edgeworth said true? The book does contain information on how to make the poison gas, yes. But the fact that I have seen it doesn't make me guilty. Here do I ask exactly how the gas was triggered? The victim used a blowtorch to heat the lid of one of his lay cases, thereby melting the ubiquium. I see. But he locked himself in the room too, didn't he? Surely that in fact triggered it himself, pointing to the being a suicide attempt? She's not willing to admit to anything. Furthermore, where would I have gotten hold of any pesticide ultra? Oh, I don't know. Perhaps you stole it? You know, I did bump into Mr. Moody Judy a week or so ago. And that very evening, I noticed my pesticide ultra had gone missing. Bring up the lane. Judy, surely you didn't. Delisha, you carry a bag of pharmaceuticals with you everywhere, don't you? There would have been any number of opportunities for someone other than myself to steal from you. Well, that's true. I didn't have any evidence that it definitely was Misbound who stole it. Jews. Clearly something you're not telling. Why don't you just come clean? We all know you never hurt somebody for no reason, so... Not you too. You think I'm guilty as well, Mr. Fender? Can you blame me? We got one wing disguised as another, a gas trap in one of the display cases, and you're the proprietor of the establishment. So a lot like you did it, kiddo. You've got this all wrong. You have to remember, the gallery doesn't have any security cameras, nor any security personnel. If some ill-intentioned person or other wanted to get in undetected, I don't think they have much of a problem. Wow, you're practically asking to be burglarized. You need to be more careful. Great Thief could have a field day in here. I don't think she's joking. And actually, it seems that Mr. Gusto did in fact enter the gallery before it. Sheesh! Judy's one tough cookie. He's not budging an inch. Maybe it's time to rock a little technique Gregory taught me back in the day. What technique that might that be? Hear me out. Everything's connected to what happened 18 years back, yeah? Since we're not getting anywhere by focusing only on her and the here and now, maybe we ought to approach this from a different angle and look to the past for clues instead. It's heard about him thinking, so my father used this method as well. Alright, let's run this through the old Tinkatron. How was Jude involved in what happened back then? According to the spell, it was because of her that Mr. Frost's favorite ice sculpture melted. And yet his sculptures are here on display at this very gallery today. Is it possible that she... Thank you, Fender. I think I know what I need to ask Miss Bound now. Don't thank me. Thank you, Pops. Now take it away, Milesy. I'll grab the popcorn. Miss Pound, you say that you were the one who caused Mr. Frost's creation to melt 18 years ago, correct? I'm afraid so. I was young and foolish. It was a terrible accident. And yet, what you did allowed you to open this exhibit, no? What do you mean? Yes, what do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? If you're going to ask such questions, perhaps a formal testimony in this bound might be best. Yes, perhaps it might. I'd like to know a little more about the Zodiac War, and about why Miss Bound decided to dedicate this space to Mr. Frost's work. Very well. If you believe it to be relevant to the case, I will allow it. Miss Bound, would you mind? Wonderful. I'll do whatever it takes to prove that I'm innocent. And please, if you could give us some background on Zodiac Hall and the pieces on display here. Zodiac Hall. It took 18 years, but at long last, I was finally able to my senses home back a little while ago. But a place like this is expensive to maintain, so I decided to turn it into an art gallery. To that end, I collected as many Paul Holly pieces as I could from around the world. Because if I'm honest, it's always been something of a dream of mine to have a space dedicated to his work. Thank you for your testimony, Miss Bound. How wonderful it is that you were able to fulfill your dream. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, everything seems entirely above board to me. Judge Gavel, that was simply the witness's preliminary statement. As you surely know, the value of the testimony cannot be evaluated without due cross-examination. Spoken like a true attorney. Very well. You may do what you must. Hold it! 18 years. You must have gone through a lot to buy back this memory. This home, this place, such memories abound. I couldn't stand to lose what I had found. Samson, I did what I had to do. To see it at home, yourself waiting here, do you? How'd you make it look so easy? I'll say, I wouldn't expect any less from a trained triple threat performer. You could continue every testimony, Miss Brown. Mind just singing you today. Better.
Hold it!
You managed the gallery all yourself, Miss Brown. Yes, well, the early open day, so I haven't done much actual managing yet, but I have to keep the mansion going, and have it falling down around my ears. Samson could come home any day. She really got the house back for him. I'm so sorry, Judy. Wish I could have done more. Oh, you've done plenty, Mr. Fender. If anyone should have done more, it's me. Even if the only thing I can do right now is keep this place safe for Samson.
Hold it!
Paul Honey. That was Mr. Frost's pseudonym, correct? Yes, he adopted the one who was working as a sculptor in France. I see. Curious about some of the pieces in your collection. More specifically, how you were able to acquire the Taurus and Gemini sculptures. It was from my understanding that Mr. Frost died before he could complete them. Yes, I was able to create replicas for the Winter Wing based on photos of the sculptures he'd made. Really? Don't you go into some more detail on that? Because if I'm honest, it's always been something of a dream of mine to go to space dedicated to his work. I was able to create replicas for the Winter Wing based on photos of the sculptures.
Hold it!
Tell me more about this dream of yours, Miss Brown. Well, what I really wanted was to open a gallery with Samson, of course. A gallery of dance. A gallery of song. A gallery of gaiety and candy all day long. That was the idea. Here I hope art was to be appreciated in silence, not accompanied by musical numbers. Alas, Mr. Tangaroa transgressed around against the edicts of the goddess of justice. That was a lot of long words, and as such, the part of your dream may go perfectly unfulfilled. No, Samson he's innocent. I swear it. The awful prosecutor refused to listen. It's true. He never hurt a fly. Mr. Tangaroa gave a false confession in order to protect Miss Brown. Two of them really did what they could to protect one another, didn't they? Herm.
Hold it!
These photos you mentioned, you mean the ones you yourself took in Mr. Frost from 18 years ago? Yes. You certainly know a lot about what happened back then, Mr. Edgeworth. Hang on a second. I guess they're not there. Yeah, no real evidence to the contrary. So the statues in the Winter Wing were just copies? And I didn't even get to see them before they melted. No, the sculptures in question were definitely not replicas. Which means that Miss Bound is lying. I know. It's such an awful shame that they went through the trouble to recreate them too. The sculptures in the Winter Wing weren't replicas. They were the very ones from 18 years ago. I'm even sure I'm aware of that. I'll never get to the truth. Yeah. They wouldn't accept like the Pisces sketch statue or whatever. So this?
Objection!
No. Piece of evidence will reveal the truth. It will. You seem determined to make me the perpetrator of this crime, Mr. Edgeworth. Why else would you resort to tactics like these? Miss Bound, please don't cry. Fine, then. Shall we continue? So, tears are all I manage. I suppose she's an accomplished actor. They melted.
Objection!
Oh hey, I didn't think it was that, but there we go. I'm afraid you've run out of road, Miss Bound. You can lie all you like, but you can't deny the results of the tests conducted on the sculpture's remains. And those tests leave no room for ambiguity. What you have on display were replicas. They were the very statues Mr. Frost carved 18 years ago. Oh, I could probably help explain how they worked now, if you like it. Mr. Sugar, you see. You might think sugar is sugar is sugar, composition is actually very unique. You can already recreate the statues with a sweet, sick revenge. Chemical makeup? No chance. We get it, McAfee. You can leave now. It doesn't show up on the stream because it's just me, but McAfee can leave now. Thank you, Miss Scott. I don't recall asking for a help, but still. To put it simply, the statues didn't disappear back there because they melted. They disappeared because you spirited them away and kept them hidden these 18 long years. What? Did you get the pair of flavored ice sculptures around somewhere for all that time? Yeah, it's not the most out there idea in the world, assuming you have big enough ice bars. Quiet, all of you, Miss Bound. Have you anything to say on your defense? So you've already learned that much. Should I take it from me you admit to having hidden the flavored ice sculptures in question? No, I admit to no such thing. You haven't proven I was the one who took those statues away. And you won't, because it would have been impossible for me to do so in the first place. The police were here when they disappeared. How could I have done that without them noticing? How indeed? I don't yet know exactly how you did it, but I'm far from ready to say that it was impossible for you to have solved the mystery. You're a very persistent man, aren't you, Mr. Ridgeway? I am indeed. I won't stop until I get to the truth. I see. Then I better tell you exactly what I did that day 18 years ago. What I did that day... The whole time before judging began, I was waiting upstairs in a living area on standby. During the judging, I had to go change the camera's film cartridge for Samson. Before I could take the camera back to Samson, I discovered Mr. Frost's body. Later, when your father arrived, I began to look around and serve TJ to be present. That was when I saw Mr. Gusto entering Mr. Frost's room. And those are my moments of the day it all happened. I hardly see how you could take issue with any of that. That's for us to decide, Miss Bound. Are you saying there's a contradiction in the story, Mr. Redwood? I'm more focused on proving the fact that she did indeed steal those statues. The question is when she would have had the opportunity to do so. If I can pinpoint that, I might be able to prove what exactly she got up to. I will reboot you!
Hold it!
And what were you doing while you were there? I was in my room practicing some dance routines. I was on a TV show called Bacon Bop with Samson. Bacon Bop? What kind of show was it? It was a children's show. The two of them would sing and dance in a variety of suites. Wow, that sounds awesome! Yes, but unfortunately it's lost media now. No one really had any home releases. Oh, the phone. Miles, you used to watch it? Oh yeah, my father introduced me to it. I may have watched an episode or two. So Miss Bound passed the time before the judging began by practicing a dance routine. Since the moment Miss Bound saw the sculptures, it was not. That can't have been the moment she did it. Better listen carefully to what she says.
Hold it!
Were you the only one who was able to move around freely during the judging? Well, I wouldn't say freely exactly, but I was able to move around more easily than the contestants, yes. Even so, I could hardly have spirited the sculptures away while Samson was standing right there, could I? I ran straight off to change the film as soon as he asked. I wouldn't have had time. So changing the film and the camera is requested by Mr. Tangerella. Was this the moment? It was not!
Hold it!
Hold it! You entered the room and Mr. Tangerella's worked before bringing the camera back to him, correct? I love how the triggers activate the bumpers as well. Yes, I heard the sound of something collapsing. Samson, are you in here? Ah! That was a young Kate even. Sounds chocolate chip falling over after someone took a bite out of supports. Mr. Tangerella was still in this room when he found the body. Yes, I'm certain that was the case. He was judging each room in order, and he liked to take his time. To the point at which he discovered Mr. Frost's body. I mean, technically, not necessarily. For you see...
Hold it!
Just as you did today. Yes, I went around and offered everybody working in your investigation a cup of tea. Present company included. I remember it well. You were here, there, upstairs, downstairs, everywhere with that little cart of yours. Interesting. Did anything else strike you as strange around that time? Oh yeah! Gregory was singing the praises of Judy's tea, and I think he mentioned his sauce was cold. Sauce was cold. Miss Bound. I believe this is when you saw the sculptures. I hate to contradict you, but the fountain room was full of witnesses at that point, Mr. Fender included. Are you suggesting that I somehow got the sculptures out of Mr. Frost's room, right under everybody's nose? That is precisely what I'm suggesting. Span saw those ice sculptures, and she did it by hiding them here!
Take that!
My father and Fender had no idea that one of the sculptures was mere inches away from them, because it wasn't just a tea set you were pushing around, Miss Bound, but a hidden ice sculpture in a glass case. Ah!
Overruled!
Surely such a thing would have been impossible. How would a case of that size fit in the serving cart? It would have been spotted immediately.
Objection!
Who said anything about a serving cart? Well, I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Edgeworth. What are you saying? Suggesting she uses instead? I'm suggesting that Miss Bound use this to transport the sculpture. And this is the card that Miss Bound used to move the flavoured ice sculptures out of Mr. Frost's room 18 years ago. And it would appear that the very same card is still here in the fountain. We originally brought it for use in the contest. And you're saying that Mr. Bound loaded Mr. Frost's sculptures onto this card and carried them off? I am. As you can imagine, all one we need to do is lay a case on the side, add a tablecloth, and it's looking exactly like a normal serving card, thus allowing her to move the sculptures around freely. Can it be? Holy moly! Of course! That's why the sausage was so chilly. It was sitting on top of a big block of ice. Dude! How could you? Impressive. Then again, you are Mr. Gregory Edgeworth's son. I should have expected no less. There isn't a scrap of evidence that I stole the sculptures all those years ago now. And yet, I knew that no matter what he said or did, I'd always be under a cloud of suspicion. So you admit it? You admit that you stole them from Mr. Frost's room? Yes, I do. I took those sculptures in their glass cases out of that room 18 years ago. As Mr. Edgeworth correctly deduced, I dressed up a lift cart as serving carts do. I slipped in and out of Mr. Frost's room while I was going around serving tea to everyone. In the end, I removed not only the sculptures, but flavoured ice Zodiac blocks as well. Zodiac block? I feel like I've seen it on myself before. There's a huge block of ice on display here. Must be incredibly heavy, though maybe not, all of it being hollow on the inside. If the winnowing really is an exact replica of Mr. Frost's room 18 years ago, even though my father never saw them, because they already melted, Zodiac blocks must have been in the victim's room back then as well. When I had finished moving the two sculptures and the two Zodiac blocks in, I took two fresh, empty cases into the Frost's room, and put them where the original two had been. Only the sculptures had been kept in glass cases, you see, to prevent them from being damaged. The blocks were a little more robust, so they had been displayed as is. As stated in the contest rules, we were responsible for providing all display materials, including cases. Meaning it would have been easy for her to prepare those empty spares she swapped in. Mr. Frost's room contained quite a few other flavoured waxworks and stuff. I figured if I melted them down somehow, the resulting puddle would look like it came from the sculptures. And that is how the sculptures of 18 years ago came to be in the Winter Wing today. I have to say, Mr. Edgeworth, that's quite the confession. Indeed. I think she offered it so willingly because she knows the stuff that we can do with it. That's all I have to tell you. However, despite everything I've shared, you can't charge me with anything now, can you? What? How'd you figure that out? Oh my. I would have thought you might know at least as much, given we're at a crime scene. I suggest you memorize the various statutes of limitations outlined in this book. Statutes for dummies. Little cat on it! Statutes of what now? Book explaining the statute of limitations of various crimes. Simply put, Kay. We can explain that simply put in a bit. Theft! 7 years from the date of the crime. Separate time frames apply with regards to claims for damages, etc. Murder. 15 years from the day of the crime. The statute was suspended should the suspect flee to a foreign country. The statute is suspect from the time of any corpse's indictment to the end of their trial. Simply put, K. Prosecutors only have a certain amount of time within which they can put a suspect on trial for a given crime. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Womp womp. So it's different for everyone. Every crime. Murder, 15 years. Theft, 7 years. Ah! Yes, this found sold the ice-cop was 18 years ago. So it's too late to have arrested for that crime. I don't believe it. Theft is a serious matter, especially when it involves the removal of evidence from a crime scene. However, as you yourself just pointed out, this found can no longer be prosecuted for a crime. God, my TV's gonna turn off. Rendering your revelation rather pointless, wouldn't you say, Mr. Edward?
Objection!
You say objection, I say I wouldn't be so sure about that. For you see, the theft of the ice sculptures isn't my principal interest here. I find the body that reappeared 18 years after the theft to be of considerably more interest. Are you suggesting that I also hid Mr. Frost's body? I am indeed. But how do you keep a body hidden for 18 years without anybody finding it? By hiding it in a very unusual way. Ooh, now this is interesting. Are you telling me that you know where the body's been all this time, Mr. Edward? It's no such big leap if you think about what Miss Bound had told us already. Let's just say it wasn't just flavored ice that she removed from the foster back then. Very well. If you're confident in this claim, let's put it to test. Tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, where exactly was Mr. Frost's body hidden?
Take that!
A photograph of Mr. Frost's works? And of the victim's body, Your Honor. You will have to forgive me, but I don't see what you mean. Where exactly in this photograph is Mr. Frost's body? It's hiding. Right there! A Gemini sculpture? Yes, it may look like a sculpture at first glance, but it is in fact Mr. Frost's corpse. What? Surely you can't be serious. I don't see anything in the photograph that supports a wild claim.
Objection!
That's because a certain piece of evidence was used to hide the body in plain sight. And what piece of evidence might that be? The court demands that you present what was used to conceal the body.
Take that!
One of the cloths from the autumn wing? Yes, when it's made to flow in just the right way, it's so visually convincing, you might mistake it for ice. Isn't that right, Miss Stone? Oh yes, dear, we can make it look like just about anything, really. Even blazing fire. If I shade the blue, make it look like ice, yes. Exactly like it, in fact.
Overruled!
Is it not the case that a certain special device is needed to generate these colors, though?
Objection!
Yeah. If you again are going to look at the photograph at the Winter Wing, Your Honor, you'll notice that there is a small box connected to the bottom of the Gemini display case. That's one of the very light-emitting devices in question. Detective Gumshoe even confirmed its presence. In fact, this particular device went missing 18 years ago. Back then, it was no doubt firmly connected to the cloth inside the display case, which means Miss Brown had no chance with the choice but to take it with her when she removed the sculpture. So you see, this cloth from the light-emitting device was being used to create the illusion that Mr. Frost's body was, in fact, a statue carved from ice. No, this can't be. Wait, so you're telling me that when we took the photo of us in the Winter Wing, yes, we were standing right in front of the body. But the body and the cloth were both recovered from the fountain. Why were they found here if the body was supposed to be in the Winter Wing disguised as a sculpture?
Objection!
Because there would have been no mystery as to how the body had been hidden if we had found it as is. Miss Brown needed to remove the frost from the Winter Wing in order to flow it with the scent.
Overruled!
Ridiculous. I recall her sneaking around being behind our backs to throw a body in the fountain. No, she didn't need to, because she had another method at her disposal. Her trusty lip card, the same card that proved so useful in executing her original. Ah! I believe she built the body in one of the other wings and floated it down the street to the fountain. The frozen body, being quite solid, probably got stuck somewhere along the way, which is why only the cloth appeared at first. The clock Miss Scone discovered. And then, the body followed afterwards once it had fallen enough. Hold it! It's an ingenious theory, Mr. Edgeworth. But, can you prove that it was me? Seems a little unfair to expect me to accept your accusations without proof, don't you think? What about an eyewitness? Do you think someone might have spotted her when she was moving the body? As a matter of fact, I do. And the contradiction in the piece of evidence I was provided will shed light on exactly how Miss Bound moved the body as well. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any evidence to support your allegation? Of course. I have a piece of very compelling proof right here. Then please present it to the court. What evidence do you have to prove Miss Bound acted as you claim?
Take that!
More drawings? And is that me? Yes, Mr. Butts drew sketches of people as they passed through the fountain room. I dare say he caught your good side. What I'm interested in is the card that we see here. Miss Bound's serving card, what about it? You don't see it. She's using the same trick as she used 18 years ago. Ergo, we know that Miss Bound was busy moving Mr. Frost's body when this picture was being drawn. What? Hold it. If I may. I don't see Mr. Frost's body anywhere in that sketch. All I see is a picture of him delivering chocolates to everyone. Really? Then allow me to direct your attention to the colour of the cloth, Miss Bound. I had originally thought that Mr. Butts had made an error, but he assured me that it couldn't possibly be the case. This tablecloth appears to be light blue. Yes, a shade of tablecloth that Miss Bound doesn't seem to own. The cloth only appears to be light blue due to the body hiding just underneath. But the shape of the card is perfectly rectangular, just as one would expect. Surely it would be immediately obvious that the tablecloth was being draped directly over the body.
Objection!
None of the body had been placed inside one of the hollow zodiac blocks in the winter wing. Place one of those little on the lift card, and it easily passed muster as the regular service card would prove. Goddess of Justice! Miss Bound, surely now you must admit that it was you who moved the body, just as you did 18 years ago? I didn't expect you to deduce all that from a single simple sketch. That sketch alone isn't really enough to prove your theory, is it? You needn't worry on that front. My case doesn't really rest solely Mr. Butts' art. Once you had disposed of the body, your serving card became a simple lift card once more. Which is exactly what we discovered here in the fountain room. And without a serving card, you had to find some place to put your chocolates. My chocolates? The ones I was handing out? As we saw in the sketch, you had originally placed them on top of the cart. But the chocolates you gave us came from your pocket. Oh yeah, mine was half melted. It was still super sweet and tasty though. Why did you suddenly feel the need to put the chocolates in your pocket, Miss Ben? It was because you no longer had a serving card to put them on. That's why. One moment, if you please. You have explained what Miss Bound did with the chocolates in the left card. But, what about the tablecloth? Why did it go? Indeed, if stashing the chocolates in her pocket was the only solution she could think of, I doubt Miss Bound had the time to dispose of an entire tablecloth. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have an answer for me? Miss Bound didn't hide or dispose of the tablecloth, Your Honor. In fact, it's right here in front of us. Perhaps you would care to enlighten us? Where exactly is the tablecloth Miss Bound used to hide the body? Miss Bound is the tablecloth on a person. And in plain view, in fact. In plain view? No, surely you don't mean Miss Bound? It's the cloth around your waist, isn't it? And given that the Zodiac blocks weren't kept in glass cases, the cloth would have been in direct contact with the ice. All we would need to do to confirm my theory is test the cloth for traces of the sugar using Mr. Frost's work. The game is up, Miss Bound. It's time to come clean. You won't need to test the tablecloth. Everything you said is true. I stole Delicia's Investicide Ultra, and I moved Mr. Frost's body. It was me. It was all me. Delicia, I'm so sorry. Last week, I went into your bag and I took it. And then I put it in his pocket, hurried to make it look like he had tried to do himself in. I also made sure to leave my fingerprints with yours, just in case the police suspected foul play. Judy! You! Oh gosh.
But choose. Why?
Weren't we supposed to be on the same side? All fighting together to free Samson? We were, but I couldn't afford to get arrested. Not yet. Not until I finally prove that Samson is innocent. I always planned to give myself up in the end, I swear. I know it's easy to say that now, but
Why do it this way, though? It's not like you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vender. I've caused you so much trouble. I've been the guilty party all along. Ever since that day, 18 years ago.
Are you trying to tell us that the true culprit in the IS-7 incident was you?
I committed a terrible crime. I took these sculptures, and I sold them for purely selfish reasons. The moment Mr. Frost died, they became more than mere entries in the confection contest. They became the final works of Samson's favorite artist. I couldn't allow them to just melt away, not before he came home. And that meant I couldn't let anybody near them. Not even the police. So I hid them. I knew it was wrong, but I just had to. I put them in the cold storage room for safekeeping. What I had actually done was far worse than anything you could have possibly imagined. Because who would have thought that Mr. Frost's body itself was posing as on the sculptures? She didn't know about the body when she saw the sculptures. Samson is a kind man, a saint. He could never kill anybody. Never! And yet, because of what I did, the police never found Mr. Frost's body and Samson was found guilty. After all he'd done for me, he was my family. The only family I'd ever had. He was the most important person in the entire world to me. And I...
Choose.
After his confection, I was forced out of our home. I was finally able to return only a few days ago. And when I did, I went to the cold storage room to check up on the sculptures. And that's when I saw it. Mr. Frost's body. It had been there the whole time. Of course, by that point, the statute of limitations had expired. So I did what I did today. Because it was the only way I could think to make things right. It seems I misunderstood her intentions. Everything she's done really has all been for Mr. Tangaroa's sake. Hey, what are you thinking about, Mr. Edgeworth? Something that's been puzzling me. Why did Miss Bound use poison gas? Why not a more reliable method? And why disguise the Autumn Wing as a winter wing? The only reason I could think of is to confuse someone who was here 18 years ago. Yeah, I wonder what she had in mind. She was trying to prove that Mr. Tangaroa was innocent. Miss Bound's ultimate goal must be to find the true killer. She even tried to discover the identity of the true culprit. Miss Bound, your ultimate aim was to see Mr. Tangaroa cleared of all charges, correct? And to that end, you had to expose the real killer and have the police find the body from 18 years ago. Is my understanding of your intentions correct? Exhibiting the sculptures was sure to force the killer into returning to the crime scene. After all, they were the only person apart from you who knew that the body was hidden in the icework. So you would have freaked out thinking the body was about to be discovered and come running, yeah? Exactly. Miss Bound ran the risk of the killer might successfully cover their tracks this time. In the worst case scenario, you might have even had it been able to remove Frost's body from the scene. How could she lure the killer into revealing themselves without putting vital evidence at risk? No, I see what you're driving at. You're saying that that's why the Autumn Wing was all winnowing. I am. You were betting on one thing, Miss Bound, weren't you? And whoever opened the Pisces case who had so carefully disguised the Gemini case would be the real perpetrator of the IS-7 incident. No. But that would mean the real killer was overruled. Enough. Not another word. Do you realize the implications of what you are saying, Mr. Redmond? Are you prepared to stand behind the accusations you are clearly about to make? Miss Bound set a trap for Mr. Frost's killer. And whoever found themselves caught in that trap is highly likely to be found guilty party. Not that I have the evidence to support such an assertion. To accuse someone without any evidence is not to be done lightly. So, should I really go ahead and make my accusation and name Mr. Frost's killer nonetheless? My ultimate goal is to see the truth exposed. And to do that, I need to seize the moment. Yes, Judge Cavell. I'm prepared to stand behind my accusation. I know exactly who was to blame for the IS-7 incident. Carmelo Gusto. Mr. Gusto? The victim of the poison gas attack and the perpetrator of the IS-7 incident? Gusty? Mr. Gusto is bound. As we have established, you knew that the opening of the gallery would lure in the real culprit, and you set up the poison gas trap in order to catch them. Do you dispute the facts thus far? You're a very impressive man, Mr. Edgeworth, just like your father. And of course, you're absolutely right. Then perhaps you could tell us exactly what happened in your own words. Of course, I have nothing to hide anymore, so I might as well tell you everything. As you said, we set a trap here in the gallery to try and catch Mr. Frost's killer. Before we opened, I made sure that the door to the auto wing was the only one that was unlocked. When opening time came, I was about to unlock. I went around to unlock the doors in various rooms, and found that the auto wing had been locked from the inside. The killer was on the other side of the door. Frightened me. And then she simply walked away, leaving him to fall victim to a poison gas trap. When I heard that Mr. Gusto was being treated for gas inhalation, that's when I knew he was the murderer. All that was left was for the police to find Mr. Frost's body, and then Samson would finally be proven innocent. At least, that was my plan. Jules, why didn't you tell me? You know I'm always here for you, right? We could have found another way. It didn't have to be like this. Thank you, Mr. Fender. You've been so very kind to me all these years. But I'm the one who created this mess. It was up to me to try and clean it up. I didn't care what it took, as long as I could get Samson out of this awful place. Judy. 18 years ago, the police managed to cover up the fact that Mr. Frost's body had gone missing. I went to them now and said that it reappeared. I was afraid they might have tried to cover things up again. So I worked this out, a very public incident here in the gallery, in front of as many witnesses as possible. I'm so sorry, Judy. You, Samson, Gregory, let you all down. Fender, this can't be easy for him. No, I'm the one who should be apologizing. Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Fender, I hope one day you can forgive me. And whatever punishment I have to face, I'm ready to accept it. But please, if I may ask one thing of you, is that you simply must clear Samson's name. The way the truth of these past 18 years had come to light was unexpected, to say the least. And yet, it only set us down a path towards even more shocking end. To be continued! Oh, goodness gracious. We're at the 3-hour mark, but this is certainly like the penultimate of the case. I have this feeling, and also the know, that it's probably going to be. So, we'll have this wonderful low-down music to listen to whilst we are back on the intermission screen. It's going to be very sad, as it's already been. We shall continue with the sadness in a little bit. Catch you in a bit. saw something flash. Don't know what happened. Like, the time went up very quickly. But it's just my end at least. And the stream still seems like it's going. I just ate an entire slice of bread. Let's freaking go! That's the time for that, isn't it? It's not really. Oh, is that why? There's a strong delay now. Oh, Lord have mercy. You might be fine. If not, then we'll be fine. Are you feeling a little calmer now? Yes. Oh no, that's quite a delay. Can we kick this? Like, briefly? Let me get to the point. Regardless of your intentions, you broke the law. There we go. Yes, I understand. Nevertheless, I understand that you did what you did in order to prove the Tangaroa's innocence. Therefore, if the real culprit really is someone else, then we have a duty to reinvestigate the thing. Overruled! There was nothing to suggest that anything nefarious took place in the IS-7 into the records. And right now, there is nothing to suggest that we should take this bound as a word either. So our first order of business should be to arrest the culprit in the case before us, Miss Bound herself. Objection! Official records cannot always be trusted, Judge Cabell. Especially since there are only those prosecutors who think nothing of twisting the facts. Overruled! Are you suggesting that the committee at the time overlooked just such a prosecutor? That's for you and your people to figure out. However, it's a fact that the autopsy report was faked. Seeing as Mr. Frost's body was only found just now. There really is something of Mr. Von Kammer in you, Mr. Redwood. How so, exactly? By continually defying the will of the committee and bending the truth to fit your needs. That's how. Perhaps it is time you understand how the committee, sees this case. Fight the Cyclops! The committee is willing to accept that Mr. Von Kammer falsified Mr. Frost's autopsy report. Even still, Mr. Von Kammer managed to have Mr. Tangaroa as an accomplice. I personally have to come to believe that the real culprit of the IS-7 is Miss Bound. Her plan to poison and kill Mr. Gusteau today was her attempt to frame him as the Frost's murder. And this is how the committee sees things, is it? Oh, indeed. As always, I act solely in the service of law and order. It sounds to me like all she's doing is acting as the service of the committee and covering up the truth. And I can't change her mind. There will be no saving Mr. Tangaroa or Miss Bound. The committee's view. We view the committee on par. Hold it! If you accept that Mr. Von Kammer falsified the report, then why would you reinvestigate the case? Because the goddess of justice is never wrong. Her verdict remains true. Objection! Despite blatant evidence tampering, sure your precious goddess isn't into it. Almost makes you think that the committee might have other reasons for not wanting us looked into again. Further investigation is simply unnecessary since the goddess of justice has already spoken. Is that right? Hold it! I believe it was a confession that sealed Mr. Tangaroa's fate in the end. A confession secured by Mr. Von Kammer, which should certainly cast down the final verdict. Overruled! Samson Tangaroa confessed to the initial investigating officer, one Detective Ian Seiden. The official records state that it was these interrogations that led to the conviction. Therefore, all I can say to you is the goddess of justice has already spoken. Unbelievable! She just won't budge at all. Are those committee guys really that big of a deal? In many ways, they are a prosecutor's worst nightmare. So kind of like how the police are to a great thief, huh? Funny how you don't seem to have a problem working with the police when it suits you, though. Hold it! Are you suggesting that Mr. Tangaroa was bound to kill Mr. Frost together? Why not? You could even imagine they split their roles as thus. Mr. Tangaroa could have been the one to commit the act itself, while Miss Bound was to remove the body. What? I thought that we could never kill Mr. Frost. You stole his corpse and hid it for 18 years. Is it really so surprising that you might be considering a assault? Miss Bound has freely confessed to all of her crimes. Now is not the time to speculate about what else she might have done in the past. Very well. Let us pass judgment on what we know she did in the present. Why would Miss Bound have chosen to frame Mr. Gusto for the murder? No doubt because he suspected her of being the real culprit. He may have entered what he thought was a window waiting, simply seeing if the Gemini said it was genuine. Little did he know that he would be greeted to by a trap designed in silence. A trap that nearly worked.
Objection!
Do you have any evidence to support that line of reasoning? Unfortunately, Mr. Gusto remains in critical condition. It will be difficult to prove anything until he regains consciousness. In other words, there is little we can do for now. On the contrary, there's plenty we can do. You still have not grasped the situation, have you? That'll allow me to spell it out for you. We have all the evidence we need to explain both the IS-7 and the poison gas. We've therefore determined there is no need to investigate either case any further.
Hold it!
All the evidence you need? No matter if the IS-7 is we have a body, a murder weapon, and 2 suspects. As for the poison gas attack, we have the source of the 3 animals in Miss Bound's confession. And as for you, Miss Redworth, we also have enough evidence to see that you yourself will have to answer to the committee in a formal hearing. Whoa! That doesn't sound good. Don't worry, Mazzarino. Nothing else, you're always more than welcome to enter the toe. Your Honor, I'd greatly appreciate if we could stay focused on the matter at hand. Oh, of course. Now, where was I?
Hold it!
You really mean to assert that there are no loose ends left to investigate? Not at all? All of the evidence has been examined at length, and there is nothing more to be learned. Therefore, I see no need to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant Miss Judy Bound. Your Honor, I'm certain there's something that still needs to be examined. How much about the fall, Mr. Edgeworth? Only hard evidence can stop it now. Is that what you think requires further deliberation now? Assuming there really is anything left, that is. It's never yet. By a long shot. One thing we don't have an answer to. It's up to me to point it out to Jessica Bell. You know about most everything, except you, right?
Objection!
No. Fair contradiction in your testimony, Judge Cavell. Silence. Such statements will not be tolerated by this court. Oh, why not? What precisely is wrong with my statement? For one thing, the fact that you clearly do not believe it yourself. No! Say that obvious. You're gonna have to be more careful next time.
Objection!
Would you care to revise your testimony at all, Judge Cavell? No. Why? Do you think there is something wrong with it? Well, no, nothing seems out of place. Then perhaps you could refrain from insinuating otherwise. Well, that blew up in my face. God, what is this? Can't be that simple, could it?
Objection!
Nah, I thought so. Finish up this compass. Well, karma. I mean, it's worth a try.
Objection!
It was worth a try.
Objection!
So why would he bring a torch anyway? My god. Well, hey, you've always got to rely on the classic tell of these are going away. I'm afraid there is still one question concerning IS-7 that remains unanswered, Your Honor. Would you mind taking a look at this? What is it? The test results carried out in the liquid at the bottom of the Gemini case in the window wing. As you can see, traces of blood were detected. The question is, whose? Until that question is answered, I hardly think you can claim to have all the evidence. There was blood in the Gemini case? Why did I not hear about this from Eustace? Because Detective Gumshoe informed me of the results directly. I was planning to tell Mr. Winter about it myself, of course. Overruled! You kept this to yourself until now, despite having no jurisdiction in here whatsoever? Mark my words, the committee will hear all about what you've done here today. Whatever my interest is the truth. If mistakes were made in the past, they must be rectified. If you must report me to the committee, then so be it. But in return, you must be allowed to investigate this case to the very end. That is not my decision to make. You will need to discuss it with Eustace. Guess who's back, losers? And with good news too. Ha ha! It was a close call for a minute there, but Carmela Gusto was alive. Gusto! He made it. You're the ones who found me. Yep, long time no see, Gusto. You're the attorney's assistant. You've grown, and you have an assistant of your own now. Assistant? No, I'm... He hasn't got the gig just yet. This is Gregory Edgeworth's kid. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, at your service. Fate moves in mysterious ways. I'm in your debt. If you hadn't found me in time, I wouldn't be here thanks to you. Need to thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. After all, if you hadn't lived, we wouldn't be able to ask you what really happened 18 years ago. What are you talking about? We figured out quite a bit while you were out cold. Including the fact that you're probably the guy who held off the poor Artie Frost. What? Is that true? Miss Bounce set up a very elaborate trap to catch up Mr. Frost's murder. A trap that revolved breaking the Pisces case with poisoned gas. Perhaps in light of that fact, you could tell us in your own words what happened back then. Or perhaps you'd rather exercise your right to remain silent. No, it's not that. Gusto has apparently all meditation. You know, bomb and all that jazz. Wow, Stephen while standing seems pretty cool. That's one heck of a talent. Since this most sleeping involves meditation, Kay. Hey, Gusto, old pal. How about you snap back out of it until this whole went down way back when? I was caught in the girl's trap, so I must be the killer. Is this your idea of a joke? I'm the victim here. Indeed you are, Mr. Gusto, and there is no evidence that you have done anything wrong yet. Mr. Edgeworth and Mr. Fender are merely speculating. Rest assured they have no authority here, and that you may pay them no heed. At last, somebody here seems to be on my side. Judge Verity Gavel, it's a pleasure, Mr. Gusto. I will assist you in any way you may require. Perhaps you could begin by explaining what actually happened 18 years ago to Mr. Edgeworth? Fine. You'll be to prove I'm innocent, Mr. Prosecutor. I'll be happy to. Objection! So this is how you mean to play it, Judge Gavel. You're hoping Mr. Gusto will help you hide what happened instead of trying to crack the record? I believe only in the infallible judgment of the goddess of justice. If it is us humans who make the actual judgment calls in a court of law. And so long as there are those who will use the law to their advantage, our rulings are fallible indeed. If you would use your position to further obscure the truth, then neither she nor I will forgive you. We shall see about that. What do you advise, Judge Gavel? It would seem that you are under suspicion because it was you who triggered the poison gas, specifically by opening the Pisces case. Would you be so kind as to share why with us? Understood. I came to see Frost's sculptures. Simple as that. I made a mistake with the opening times and arrived a half hour early. Miss Bound, was there no one at the reception desk around the time? I had left the main entrance to the garden, just in case the killer made an appearance. I was also busy making preparations elsewhere, all the way up until the gallery's opening. So no, there was no one here on the first floor then. But somebody did make sure that the wings were locked up tight. Except for the auto wing, that is.
I see.
She does that just to see the culprit of the auto wing. Which is precisely what Mr. Gusto went. Sneaking into a building is pretty suspicious, however you slice it.
Silence in the courtroom.
I'll permit no objections or interventions unless there is some evidence that the witness is lying.
Courtroom?
You know this is an art gallery, right? Mr. Gusto, if you could please continue by explaining why you're in the Pisces case.
I wanted to see Frost's work up close. I went up to the Gemini, sorry, this was supposed to be the Pisces statue, and I saw that the lid was frozen on tight. So I grabbed the blowtorch from nearby and tried to open it. When I finally got it open, gas came pouring out. Fascinating.
This is the sort of flawless testimony attorneys can only dream of. Yeah, the everything sounds like a lie kind. I am none too satisfied with Mr. Gusto's explanation myself. Alas, there is no evidence to refute it. Come on, there must be something.
It's Bound's story you should be questioning, not mine. I'm not the one who set up the gas trap. She could have killed anybody with that thing.
Objection!
She turned on the sprinklers as soon as the gas was released. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was gunning for the killer, nobody else. That killer being you, old pal.
So you believe that self-confessed criminal? Miss Bound is far from blameless in this affair, and she will have to pay for her crimes. And so will Mr. Frost's killer. You seem determined to pin Frost's murder on me, but I had no reason to kill him. And you have no evidence to prove otherwise. Ugh. Can we really not prove that he's the killer, Mr. Redworth? Mr. Gusto fell victim to the poison gas, that much is indisputable. Yet no matter how suspicious his actions in the present may seem, they prove nothing about the past. Yeah, but then what about you, Mr. Fender? There must be something we can do.
You're right. We may not have evidence, but we have plenty of intel. Let's see now. If Gusto killed Frost, he must have had a reason.
He claims not to have a motive, but it can't really be true, can it?
If he did it, he has one. Not many people commit murder just for fun. In fact, your old man had a little back and forth with Von Kara about probable murder too. How can you possibly say that with any certainty? If their relationship had broken down for some reason, that could very well have been the motives behind the murder. Von Kara wouldn't let us talk to Gusto back then, but we can now. If we can put the pieces together, I think this picture we'll be looking for just might emerge.
Yes, I think you might be right. Think back over everything you know about the IS-7 incident. Especially the questions you never got answered.
And the thing about it, were you the one wearing the gloves?
This is going tonight that the finger marks in the frame were hers. But what if they were Mr. Gusto's? Perhaps she wanted to take a look through the ultimate cookbook for himself. So he asked me to go put in a new cartridge. Seemed to think there should have been more shots to that than there was.
In other words, the film ran out sooner than expected.
Yes, the number of shots that it took didn't match the number of shots remaining. But he thought maybe he just lost track somewhere along the way. My father noticed that these things were a reason. I just needed him to piece together correctly.
In the absence of evidence, the only way to the truth.
Oh god, it's sweaty in here.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And also, oh god, my phone is almost dead! Heavens to Betsy! Where's the fucking cable? Take out the cable. It's tangled in places. Ah, this is truly the most important stream you've ever watched in your life. I put it there. I put it to you, lad.
Well, if the population is that, possibly.
Yeah. Mr. Gusto, you and Mr. Frost inspired to create works for the contest together, did you not? Huh, so you know my little secret. Mr. Fender was kind enough to inform me. Mr. Frost was in charge of the designs while you were in charge of the flavor, is that correct? What can I say? I still had a long way to travel on the road to becoming a master confectioner.
But you only collaborated up until the semi-final. Something changed after that.
We both wanted to show what we could do. Show that we were both better than Tangaroa.
Objection!
Now why did you help Mr. Frost with his entry to the final? What grounds you have to say that?
Your own statement, made to Mr. Von Karma 18 years ago. You told him that you've been working together right up until the day before the final.
Mr. Frost's century was carved entirely from blocks of flavored ice. Ice which would have needed at least a day to freeze, and whose flavors would therefore had already been prepared by Mr. Gusto. Yes, which lines up perfectly with what you Gusto told me, that he held Frost until the day before the final. In that case, why didn't Mr. Frost reciprocate and help Mr. Gusto? I can hardly be expected to read the minds of the dead.
So why didn't Mr. Frost help you in return? I submit that your relationship broke down for some reason, and that became the basis of your murder for murder. Thank you very much, Windows. That's not how it goes. Sure, we stopped working together, but it was all perfect and friendly. You stopped working together in a friendly way? Kinda hard to imagine, but okay. Besides, how do you think I did it exactly? You think I just strolled into Tangeroa's room and killed Frost? I couldn't have killed the man while Tangeroa was in there working on his chocolate pieces, could I? So you see, it can't have been me. I wouldn't be so sure. There must be a window of time when Mr. Tangeroa was in his room. And if I can prove that, I can prove that Mr. Gusto had the opportunity to kill Mr. Frost. That was correct. Neato! Photographing the cookbook's contents would be the perfect way to seal its secrets undetected. And what if Mr. Gusto did just that? What if it used Mr. Tangeroa's camera to photograph the book? It'd be the perfect crime! So much better than stealing it and getting chased by the cops. A sneaky snapshot of 20, huh? That could work. The only question is, when would he have done it? Good question. What about during afternoon tea? Didn't Alicia say that Gusto and Frost had missed out on the little tea party they had? Brings me to the next question. When do we know for certain that Mr. Frost was still alive? Then after the contest began, nobody saw hide nor hair of Frost as he secluded himself in his room. And the only person capable of entering his locked room was Tangeroa, possessing as he did the only key. Miss Scone, were Mr. Tangeroa's works the only one you sampled? No, dear, I couldn't help myself. When I finished my afternoon tea, I tiptoed over to Chili Wing's room for a little chase, too. Mr. Frost had kept to himself inside his room after the contest had started. But he was gone by the time Mrs. Scone snuck in to sample his work, meaning there's a good chance he was murdered before the end of the afternoon tea. Which means... we can be sure that Mr. Frost was alive until the beginning of afternoon tea, making tea time the only window during which Mr. Gusto could have killed him. Are you satisfied with Mr. Gusto's story now, Mr. Edgeworth? Sadly, I'm afraid I'm still rather unsatisfied. But things are finally starting to become clear, and the truth will soon come to light at last. Do you mean to say you have uncovered new evidence? Evidence? No. I was hoping I might convince Mr. Gusto to open up to us about it instead. Oh, is it mind games time again? It is. Mr. Gusto, I have a question for you. I said, I have a question for you. Ugh! What is it? You chose to make your entry on the final on your own. I told you, I wanted to test myself. I wanted to prove I was the best in the world. Objection! If that were the case, then surely you wouldn't have chosen to cheat in the first place. So tell me, Mr. Gusto, why did you feel the need to team up with Mr. Frost? Explain it to me now. "18 years ago, Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost collaborated with you in the confectionery contest. But why did they work together? Why did they enter the contest in the first place? That's the information I need to get out of my opponent somehow. 4 pieces, a bishop, a pawn, a castle, or a rook, and also a queen, I suppose, or a king. That's what I know. Because I see that habit of pretending to be asleep when things aren't going as planned. I'll be focusing on my interest in working with Mr. Frost. On my hand, now is the time to dig up the truth that was buried all those years ago. Mr. Gusto, what inspired you to collaborate with Mr. Frost? We were acquaintances before we were contestants. He was interested in entering the contest, so we decided to sign up together. And your decision to pair up with a sculptor had nothing to do with your lack of faith in your skill. You don't know me. Each of us because we wanted to make the most perfect creations. That's all. Frost's son and mine were in the same grade at school, so we got along pretty well too. Oh, so you were just two friends who happened to try for the title of world's greatest confectioner. Ugh. Wake up. Got some point for a little makeup. Pretending to be asleep when the going gets tough wouldn't work on me, I'm afraid. Mr. Frost was a sculptor, Mr. Gusto. I doubt he cared much about winning a title for confectioners. In which case, he probably had a different motive in taking part in the contest, wouldn't you say? Grr. Fine. It was me. I wanted that title. Frost was only in it for the prize. The ultimate cookbook. I see. Since your objectives dovetailed so neatly, you decided to work together. But then something happened. A breakdown in your relationship, perhaps? If so, I want to know why. Pardon me. Mr. Prosecutor, I'm still quite unwell after my brush with death. Pushed me too hard. And I'll be on my way back to the medical room. No, wait. Then you better wrap this up quickly. Why are there hiccups now? I'm already dangerously hiccuping and low on patience. Mr. Gusto